want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
It's not college basketball. It's Clarence time! Let's get ready to rumble! Feel the fires into the red. It's nice and only know how to wear.
What is up, Friday Nighters? Welcome back to another episode of Just Another Friday Night. I am one of your two hosts, CM Chuck.
And I'm Double A, everyone.
That's Adam and Tim Adam, guys. I'm feeling like an elf, Double A. How the hell are you feeling?
Good.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers, and early, very Merry Christmas.
A very, very Merry Christmas, guys. Welcome to basically the Just Another Friday Night edition of Christmas with the Joker, basically.
It's kind of like, it's rare that we kind of do this. We kind of leave this up to our Christmas buddies, podcasters, they kind of handle all the Christmas stuff, and we usually just handle whatever is going on. But there's been a little demand for us to do a Christmas episode, so we're like, okay, we'll try it out. We'll try it out again.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a good while.
A very good while. Because we started this show, and we had things to do around this time of year, and then we met all these wonderful Christmas podcasters that are excellent. And if you guys have an appetite for Christmas podcasts, man, we have got a laundry list for you that you would just
especially
love.
If you were alive during the 80s.
Yeah, especially that. Yeah, definitely. And you can find us on some of those episodes too. Real quick though, let's say so hi to people in the chat so far. We got Ken.
Hello.
Yeah, you don't want to you don't say can't. You can. So we got Ken in the house. Ken says hi.
Ken.
What's in Ken's profile pic there? It looks like a figure. That's pretty cool. Ken, hello, Ken. Welcome to Just Another Friday Night. And our good friend Random Korean, he says, early Merry Christmas, guys. What's up, Random Korean? Always love Random Korean's comments when we do our After Dark show on Wednesday. I want to say hello to everyone joining us via the Collecting Weekly Network. We love you guys, and thanks so much for making our year great, and all the fans that you've brought to us through you guys. Miss Arelis Delgado in the house. She says, hi, everyone. Hello, Miss Arelis. It's great to have you here. Happy
early Christmas.
Yeah. To you and your kiddos. Hope that all is well. Miss Arelis was part of our Secret Santa within the Collective Weekly Network this year. So we've yet to open our gift, so we're waiting on that.
All right.
But I've got it there sitting there, so I'm excited for that as well.
All right.
But how the hell was your week, Double A?
It was fine. It was okay.
Yeah, not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah. I won't say too much, but exciting news for your daughter with her accomplishment.
Yes.
My nephew is competing in a similar thing, and she moved on. So that's
she moved on.
Great.
She's writing a paper, and she got picked. Her paper got picked to keep continuing in this district-wide competition. So
National History Day, guys, look it up. And my nephew created a website for it about Walt Disney. Unfortunately, it got a little bit muddled with the technology side of things, but he did a fantastic job, and I was really impressed. But I cannot wait to read Double A's daughter's paper. I know it's going to be great, especially if she moved on. The judges thought so.
I was like,
how many do you know, Double A?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm sure it's a small number.
I'm sure.
Yeah, because I saw a lot of projects, a lot of them, and I know that they couldn't have all moved on. So our good friend Pedro Lopez in the house says, hello all. What's up, Pedro? Appreciate you being here.
What's up?
You know what, Double A, I there is one thing been on my mind since this week, pop culture news wise. I think you know exactly what it is.
I think so.
And that's all I can think about. But I'm going to wait. Because we got some special things lined up for you guys tonight that we really haven't done before. We maybe have done before, but it's been a long time, and so it's really exciting for us to do this tonight. I'm excited. I don't know if y'all can tell. I'm pumped for it. But when we get to one of the guests, we'll talk about that because I it's all that's been consuming me. But what about Double A? Adrenalize me. What in the world of pop culture has Pedro. I think Pedro hit it right on the nose. Yeah, no doubt, absolutely, Pedro. And stick with us, bear with us. I will get to, because believe me, I did not think I could grin more ear to ear, but I was very impressed. And believe me, I'm the biggest gun detractor. So I am happy to. I'm going to be very happy to talk about that with all of you guys when our one guest gets here. Double A. And I want to hear what you think about it as well. Besides that, Double A, Adrenaline, what in the world of pop culture has stuck out to you today besides that big thing, obviously the hugest thing on the docket?
I'm sorry, I've gone blank. I know Craven came out.
Yeah,
I have not seen it. Of course, it bombed. Which I think a lot of people figured it was going to, because I think after Madam Web, I think people kind of gave up.
They're just done with the Sony verse. They've been
I
done.
think they
yeah.
are.
But look at this. I mean, what a great looking. Thank you, Double A. Double A gave me this, so this is awesome. You were at the theater to see what though?
Wicked.
And you know, if you're joining us via the Collective Weekly group, Zach from Collective Weekly has had nothing but good things to say.
Yeah, it was great.
He is an Elphaba sympathizer.
So
He
I
loves
heard,
her.
I heard the name they came up with Elphaba was L. Frank Baum. Elphaba. That's how they got the name.
Mm-hmm.
L. Frank Baum, the author.
Oh, the author of Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
That's how I heard they came up with that name.
Okay, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. At first I was kind of like, man, what a difficult name, but I liked it because I was like, that's different, and I like when a name is like otherworldly, you know.
So a lot of people were kind of surprised I went to go see it, and I told people like one of the things I like the most about movies is when there's a really good story. Yeah. And you know, I've always been a big fan of the Wizard of Oz, and then I saw Oz the Great and Powerful. That was really fun. I did like that movie.
I never saw that one. Franco, right? Yeah.
Rachel Weisz, Mila Kunis is there.
Okay.
Michelle Williams is there, and then I finally saw Return to Oz with what's her name from The Craft? Sam, help me out.
Fairuza Balk.
She's the main star in Return to Oz from the 80s. That's an 80s Disney movie, which is pretty. It's like I would say it's like right up there with Labyrinth.
Okay.
And Dark Crystal and that kind of like weird, kind of like 80s Disney fantasy kind of movies. And then me and my daughter were watching Once Upon a Time, and we had kind of drifted out, but then we came back to it, and oddly enough, we forgot the second half of season 3, the main villain is the Wicked Witch of the West. So it's kind of like, wow, like that's funny, you know. So
and then look, we got you know, The Wizard of Oz is a classic movie, right? You know what I mean?
It really is. It's just a really great world building.
It's one of these movies that will forever permeate pop culture. Look at what we just saw in Agatha, right? We just finished covering Agatha. You know, you have Catherine Hahn there, you know, in the iconic costume, saying, you know, they based her on me. You know, it's very neat. Like it's like, wow, you know. There is so much lore there. And I mean, Wicked has been running for how long?
A long time.
It was a book, then it was this long-running play.
And I read that it's the number 2 grossing play of all time behind The Lion King.
Wow. So that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. So, I mean, you know, for it to become a motion picture is just, I mean, it was bound to happen. So.
Yeah. I mean, and it's proving, you know, right. So this is part 1. So part 2 is going to come out again in November. So... And everybody's pretty excited. My daughter really loved it. My wife, who they didn't think she was gonna like it, ended up really liking it.
And it's funny for me to hear you say, Double A, that people were like didn't know you go see it. Like, guys, we're pop culture enthusiasts. This is part of pop culture. You know what I mean? It might not be like, you know, a comic book necessarily male centric movie, but you know, me and Double A love all genres of everything. And yet, of course, the man's married and he has a daughter. So it's like, you know, you're gonna inadvertently see some things.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. If I didn't have a daughter that wanted to see it, would I have gone? Yeah, maybe not. Would I have seen it down the line? Maybe, because I know about the Broadway play. Well, you know, so but I was really it was great. It was a really good movie. It was fun. It is 2 hours and 40 minutes, but there's not really like a dry spot anywhere, you know. So, and
we're fans of film too. I mean, like, guys, look, I saw the Barbie movie because my nephew actually wanted to see it. He was like, nah. He goes, I've seen clips online. It looks funny. Let's watch it. We watched it. We were laughing our ass off like a kid. You know what I mean? Like, we thought it was funny. Yeah, it's the Barbie movie. I mean, we didn't go out and buy Barbies. I mean, like, you know, but they just thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, like I have 4 movies lined up. I wanted my son wants to go see Sonic.
Oh, my daughter wants to go on my thing for the weekend too.
My daughter wants to see Mufasa. My wife wants to see Gladiator, and then me and CM want to both see Craven. Yeah, so I mean, it's 4 different kinds of movies, you know, right then and there, you know. Dude, so
you gotta keep all your feelers out, right? So, you know what I mean? Like if you saw one of those Double A, if you were like, dude, the way Zach was talking about Wicked, he's like, this guy wanted to talk about an episode of Wicked. You know what I mean?
I was saying, guys at work, I was like, man, you know, if you have a, you know. If you have someone that wants to see it, go see it. You know,
I saw this great TikTok Double A, and it's these 4 Boston guys, and they go and they're like, "Hey man, we went to them, but there wasn't no mobsters, there wasn't no Southie." They're like, "What was so wicked about it?" And
so wicked.
They start talking. They go, "You know what? You got Alpha vibes, man. You know what? That movie was pretty winky. You know what I mean? And I was like, it's pretty great. And that's what I've been hearing, that people I love hearing stuff like that. Like, oh, you can go and you can enjoy it too. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I had heard about Barbie. And I was like, yeah, I didn't feel like it was man hating or nothing. I mean, like, it was an interesting perspective.
Man, like,
yeah.
who really gives a shit, honestly?
Also, to you guys, I read Twilight. I read it and watched it because all the girls were talking about it. And at the time, I was like, well, I want to know what all the fuss is about. Same thing with 50 Shades. I only read one book and only watched one movie because I couldn't get through the rest. But I was like, everyone's talking about it. It's permeating culture. Like, I want to know what the memes are about. When I see like a lot of memes, I'm like, what the fuck is that about? I want to know. I'll watch a show based on that. You know what I mean? So, dude, I totally want to see Wicked. I can't wait to see it. And I'm glad you said you had a good time watching it. Double A. And yeah, Sonic is on that's my nephew has
my
put
son,
it out there very hard.
Actually
that's happening
for it, which I was like, maybe no kids don't want to see it because we saw part 1 and 2, but obviously, I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah,
and you know, I mean, they get
and
older.
He doesn't ask you for too much, right?
And not just that, but yeah, I mean, no, he doesn't. And that one time he was really big on Sonic, but you know, I mean, he's gotten older. He's kind of drifted away a little bit more. Where he's playing older games, you know. So, but
it sticks.
But he still asked me. I was like, oh wow, okay.
No, that's like me. I couldn't wait to see a Mario movie. There's thing. Double A, look at us. We're doing a whole show, you know, a whole podcast about things that like still give us that feeling. If a He-Man movie came out tomorrow, we'd be the first ones in line.
We'd watch it.
You know what I mean? Like that's you know, like Pedro Lopez said, look up. I mean, we know what we're talking about, right? Like I have been grinning all week. I am so happy about that trailer. But you know, again, that's my guy, right? So it's like we're rooting for him. I'm like, I want it to be good, you know. So yeah, there's of course. I mean, like that Sonic is great, and I love the first two. You saw them in theaters, right?
Yes.
Also, so there's. If you're joining us via the Collecting Weekly side, Dean the Dream, right? Dean Martin saw it, and he's a big Sonic fan, and he just gushed. And Dean doesn't gush about stuff, I don't think, but he gushed about. He said, "Man," he goes, he said he said this. He said, "If you're a Sonic fan, it's the end game of Sonic."
Oh shit,
stuff. And I was like, "Well, fuck, that's high praise." You know what I mean?
End game.
Right? Pedro says Craven was mid, on par with the rest of the non-Spider-Man universe. Acting was stiff at times, but I was never bored. It was better than Madam Web, though. Okay, I mean, see, there you go. And I watched Madam Web. I watched kind of everything with like an open mind. And what's cool about Madam Web is that my nephew loves Spider-Man. He loves Spider-Man. He always says Venom's his favorite guy. Then he says Carnage. He never says.
I'm always confused. But I'm always confused on who he likes.
I asked him with my, who's your real favorite, you know, of all time? And he says Spider-Man. He's a Spider-Man guy, and those guys are offshoots of Spider-Man, right? So you know, but
I'm always like, who was it? I'm like, was it Venom or is it Carnage?
Oh, I mean, he still rides me and my dad that we didn't take him to meet Andrew Garfield when he was here for the thing. But at that time, we didn't know that was his favorite Spider-Man. I was like, well, we didn't really know then. You know what I mean? He was like, man, I would love to meet Andrew Garfield, and like he's my favorite Spider. This kid watches those movies over and over and over again. All the Spider-Man.
Oh, all the Spider-Man.
Even the Tobies. I mean, yeah. Don't forget, Double A. My summer was every Monday in the theater watching all 8 Spider-Man movies again. I mean, the other day we were at the restaurant for Jessica's birthday, which, by the way, happy belated birthday, babe. Again, I know I told you, but here on the podcast. The restaurant had it on, and he literally like got out of his seat and was standing to watch it, no sound. You know how we watch stuff, right? I don't need it. I know what's saying.
Yeah, I mean, if Star Wars is Empire is on, I don't need the sound.
I know it by heart. So yeah, the kid loves Spider-Man's his guy.
What is it that attracts him to Carnage? Venom, I can see because they made Venom more of a hero, like in the years gone by. But why Carnage?
To be honest, I think it might be the look. And I think it's like the weapons, you know what I mean? Like, you know, because he really gets into the way.
I don't know. I was like, man, how come they didn't make Venom like that? I was like, man, they gave Carnage so much.
They jazzed him up, right? Yeah, like he loves that when they have like a lot of accessories.
Because I mean, if you look at the character, you know, I mean, like they say it pretty, you know, throughout his whole bio that he's a serial killer. You know?
Oh no,
there's no redeeming qualities when it comes to Carnage. You know what I mean?
So, and I got to be real honest with you, like, I think what he likes most about Carnage is that he's a formidable opponent,
formidable
for Venom and for Spider-Man.
Yeah, he likes to team up.
Yeah, and it's an interesting way for him to like the characters because like you like that the villain is so good for your good guy. You know what I mean? And I mean it's true, right? Because how do we feel about Magneto? How do we feel about Darkseid? How do we feel about Doom? I'm like, Goblin. I'm like, Joker. I like that these guys give the other guy a run for their money because when they're together, I'm gonna be in a good story. I'm like, holy shit, it's getting good. So yeah, and yeah, so I think that's really the attraction. Where were we going with that?
Because Pedro
Madam
was
Web.
saying,
Yes,
yeah, Pedro was saying how like it's better than most of the other Sony movies.
So let me tell you why I liked Madam Web is that anytime they mentioned Ben Parker and these little things, me and my nephew were doing this. And we had these big grins, like, man, that's so cool. And we were the only ones that knew. Even though my dad knows the lore and stuff, he wasn't picking up on it.
He's not in there.
Yeah, he wasn't picking up on it. But me and my nephew just kept turning to each other, making like, oh my God, they talked about it. Oh, they mentioned it. Like, it's like we thought it was so neat. And for me, having that moment with him was worth that movie because, yeah, the movie was not great. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to go rewatch Madam Web. But let me tell you, AA, people thought the same thing about Spider-Man 3. And when I watched that in theaters with him, that was the most packed theater of all the Spider-Man movies that we watched in theaters. And people were laughing at the funny parts, like, and they were like woo, like, you know, getting into the parts. And he thought that was great.
Well, what's funny is like I think out of the three, that is the highest grossing.
That's funny.
For Toby.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's the highest grossing one.
Yeah, and my nephew he goes, man, my funnest time was when we saw Spider-Man 3 at the theater of all the ones. But let me tell you,
did he like Topher's Venom?
No, I don't think he cared for that. No, because he loves
because I actually thought when it was actually the CGI, I thought he was actually pretty scary.
It looked good, yeah. But he loves Tom Hardy. You know what I mean? Like that's his Eddie Brock, that's his Venom. I know, but
I love Tom Hardy, but man, those movies are. Sorry, I mean, man, I hope you're not watching, Cal. I mean, I'm glad you love them. I really am.
Yeah,
those are the only ones that actually made money.
Yeah,
but man, I was like, these three are trash. I was like,
movie wise, they don't stand up. And maybe when he's older,
I hated that they ruined Carnage. I was actually happy that Woody Harrelson was playing him, but I was like, wow, he just ruined Carnage. That part 3, I didn't think it was good. I actually fell asleep a little bit in part 3, and I was just like, But you know what? Tom Hardy has his trilogy, and they
Henry
made money.
Cavill does it.
They made money.
Yeah, Ben Affleck couldn't get a single Batman movie out, and man, what I've read about that, it was going to be fantastic. You know, him and
nobody latched onto him at all.
But don't you feel like now they're really latched onto him? Like, man,
I don't know, man.
I've been reading a lot.
I feel like people are hating it. Like, I feel like George Clooney is not the worst anymore. Or like every time I read something, I always feel like Ben Affleck is the one that everyone doesn't like anymore. So, but Pedro, I mean, honestly, I want to see Kraven just because I like Kraven. He's one of my favorite Spider-Man villains.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? For him just to have a movie is pretty fucking cool. It's like the same thing I said with Black Adam. It's really cool that I'm seeing a Black Adam movie.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because that's a movie I never thought I was ever going to see whatsoever. So it was kind of cool just seeing banners that have Black Adam, stores that were selling the Black Adam shirts.
Yep.
Toys.
I bought one. Yeah,
toys. I mean, I thought it was amazing.
Your love for that character got me so hyped for it. I was so happy to see that with you. And like I told people, I just posted that clip, right? Say what you want about the movie, but when Henry Cavill came out at the end, our fucking theater lit up.
Really did.
It was like, woo! Everybody went nuts. Like my nephew was like, he went to see with me too, because the thing is that we're superhero guys. We love comic book shit,
and that's what I was saying. It's like what Nas says too when he's been on our show a few times. I mean, did we ever think throughout the 80s and 90s that we would ever see any kind of properties whatsoever?
We didn't.
No. And we're getting, you know, they put out a Morbius movie, they put out a Venom movie, they put out a Kraven movie, they put they have like 8 or 9 Spider-Man movies with just about every one of his villains. Kraven, I heard Rhino and Chameleon are in the movie, and I was like, wow,
that's cool. I didn't know
pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
you know, so
we never thought we'd see that. Real quick comments. Joe says, bro, you won't watch Miss Marvel, but you like Madam Web. I gave a very poignant story about
I know. I was going to say, remember, Joe, Cal is into the Spider-Man universe.
Right.
You know,
and did you watch it with your daughter, Joe? I think you told me you did watch it, which that's unique.
I'm not gonna lie, Sydney Sweden looked pretty fucking sweet in the costume.
Oh, very much so.
I really like the way she looked in that costume.
Sweet is an understatement.
And if she does play, if they do cast her to play Felicia Harding, hey, that's
I would love that.
Great.
Keep her in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, and if you put her and Zendaya next to each other, come on now.
Yeah, I don't want to be Tom Holland in that scenario. Joe, let me tell you, if I had someone that was like, hey man, I really want to sit around with you and watch Miss Marvel, I'd watch it. I would give them the time. But nobody wants to watch it with me, and I'm not really that into watching it. But if somebody was like, "Let's watch it. I want you to see this." If you were like, "Hey, CM, I'm gonna come over every Sunday afternoon at 3. We're gonna watch us an episode, drink a couple beers, and I'm gonna get out." Then or you come over here and watch it. I would say, okay, well, I'll watch all 8 with you that way. But I really have just no desire, like Double A said. I don't have any connection to the character.
And it's not even that she's just a female. I've never really cared for the Captain Marvel character, period. Like, even when he's a dude, the Kree soldier that came to Earth.
I liked the movie. I liked Captain Marvel a lot. I bought a Captain Marvel shirt, you know what I mean? And then I was just like, damn, am I just getting up for anything? But I thought it was really fun. It was a good movie.
It's cool though, you know what I mean? Like it was all for the big Avengers Endgame.
Right. So absolutely. Real quick, a good friend John, the Everyday Collector, says, "Hey, gents, happy holidays. Have a great show. Thank you so much, John. And after this show, guys, if you need somewhere to go and hang out, go check out Collectors Club with the Everyday Collector. John, is it going on tonight? I hope it is. And if you don't get a chance to catch John on Wednesday night with us on After Dark, he's fantastic. He's a hilarious host out of Canada. All the things that you ever wanted to know about statues. Yeah. He actually says that they hadn't had snow like I forgot what he said. It's been a while. I think John said that, and I was like, "What the hell? That's kind of scary."
But it's cold up there.
Yeah, very cold up there. But when John and the Collectors Club talk about statues, these guys know about statues, and man, there are some gorgeous ones coming out, as always, right? Like,
of course, but I mean, you're talking about something that's way out of my level.
Yeah. There. Oh, well, I love when we get to at least see it when we go to the comic book store.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, that's a beauty.
Yeah, I'm like, man, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's like me and Double A are at an art museum. We're like, man, that's
like I was watching some YouTube channel. It's like he's like a comic book owner. When he kind of goes like, these are kind of like really key issues that are still like under 200, right?
Mm-hmm,
When in the background he has this big ass badass Bane, where Bane's like this, where he looks like he's ready to kick ass, but that Bane toy looks like from the table here to like about up here. I mean, he's like massive, like massive, but the detail is amazing. You see the muscles bulging and everything. I mean, I was like, I love Bane. So,
I know what you mean, though, because when anytime John joins us on Wednesday night, he's sitting in front. His camera he has his statues positioned behind him, and these things are fucking huge. And he's got some great looking Superman that just my eyes are always just drawn to him, and I'm like, man, it's just so impressive. But
that
again,
new one looked pretty sweet too. Huh?
Oh yeah, and that's a little one. That's gonna be a little one. But John's got some of the big fuckers that are like, and I would never ask prices. I'm sure I could look it up. But I mean, he has.
I already know whereabouts they are.
Yeah, he has a beautiful collection that Double A is worth just your mouth to be on the ground.
Oh yeah,
gorgeous. Oh, yeah. Back into the comments real quick. Pedro says, "I'd say Craven is worth $5."
And that's actually what me and Sam were going to go.
You know what? And I love that because to me, and I think Double A too, movies are just overpriced. Period. So for $5, I will. And you said you weren't bored. That's enough for me. I'm like $5. Spend time with my bud here. We're having a great time. Eat some popcorn, drink some soda. That's money well spent. You know what I mean? I'm like, and I could be entertained. I'm like, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like I said, I shared some smiles and a moment with my nephew, with Madam Web, and that was enough for me. You know what I mean? So Double A says the actress is very good. I think you mean the one that plays
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel.
One of them.
Yes. Yeah. And I watched the Marvels. I want you to know that, Joe. I watched the Marvels by myself on Disney Plus when it came out. I was like, and I didn't hate it. I was like, this is okay. I don't know what I mean. I will say this. I did find her a little annoying. I find the girl that plays Marvel, but I know she's supposed to be a kid and all that. She's probably meant to be annoying. That was just me. So.
It's kind of like I was watching The Last of Us, the Bill and Frank episode, and I think my wife forgot how annoying she can be. Ellie.
Yeah.
My wife was working and I was watching The Last of Us and she was like, please shut the fuck up already.
I know.
And then you hear like Pedro's character kind of like, oh, would you just shut up already?
Yeah. And you know what's funny? I never felt that way with her. And I'm always amazed.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
When I was watching it again,
when I watch a movie with kids and I'm not annoyed, I'm like, oh, the kid did a great job. But when I am annoyed, I'm like, oof. Because I've been watching Skeleton Crew. Are you watching it? You haven't started yet? No, it's okay. It's kids. You get the premise, right? It's essentially.
No, I don't actually.
May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's essentially Goonies meets Star Wars.
Shit.
You know what I mean? Which is There are things that you will love, and there are things that you will be like,
Okay, I might not.
You know, no. You gotta watch it because we might cover it. We might cover
You can
it.
cover it with
No,
on a sick
no.
day. On a sick day that week.
You like the Goonies. You like
I
Goonies.
do like the Goonies.
And you like Stranger Things.
Sure.
Okay, it's in that vein.
Okay.
It's in that vein. Okay. And you know what? We're not done yet. It's only 3 episodes in. Don't break our covenant here. Double A. We're early on. You know what I mean? So okay, real quick. Then here we go. Pedro says hello to John. John, I hope you stuck around for a second. Emotional show, says Joe, regarding.
I think a lot of shows are emotional for you.
Yeah, I told Joe,
if you say you're a lot like CM,
yes,
I'm pretty sure a lot of things make you cry.
And we appreciate you, John. Absolutely. Yeah. So thank you so much again for being here. Just as Madam Web did have a lot of good actors in it. Yes, it sure did. Yeah. What was I just watching the other day? And I was like, damn, this has a good cast. Oh, we watched me and Jess watched Red One. Speaking of Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I loved it. I was like, there's a fucking it bombed, right?
Yeah, it bombed, but I think you know what it is. I think more and more people are kind of like they're not going and they're just waiting.
Yeah.
Because The Rock posted something like it was like it's been viewed like 50 million times or some shit like
it
that.
was so much fun.
It
was so much fun.
I think it's like you said. I think it's just like say you're taking a family of 3, 4.
Yeah.
You know, plus all the food, it's starting to become a lot. It's starting to become almost like $80 to $90.
Yeah, that's a crazy outing.
It really is.
You know
like just the tickets alone are like about $40 to $45. And then someone's always wanting drinks and popcorn and nachos. And those deals here in San Antonio for a nacho and a drink is like about $14.25. Mm-hmm. If you want like 2 large drinks and a popcorn here in San Antonio, it's about $17 to $18. And those are supposed to be the package deals, mind you. Now, if you have someone that wants candy's about $4 a package.
Yeah.
Pizza and a drink is like you're already talking about over $10 already by that point.
Yeah.
Because they're starting to sell chicken strips, they're starting to sell pizza, they're starting to sell hamburgers. So that's already over $10. And then now most of the movie theaters have bars.
Right.
And so while, you know, mom and dad want to drink, you know, that drink's like about what, $5 to $6, $7?
Yeah.
Easy. So, I mean, man, right off the bat, you could be spending possibly $100 at this one movie outing.
And that's
or
just insane.
You can just wait till it comes on pay-per-view, pay the $20 and be done with it. Right.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. Okay, guys, and I know we're going to get back to talking pop culture because tonight's real free form, whatever. But we've got our first guest in the house tonight, and we have an unofficial topic for tonight because again, we're home for the holidays with just another Friday night, and it's a Christmas extravaganza, so there's no real true topic. But there is one thing that we did kind of want to talk
ask
about.
Everyone.
Yeah, we kind of want to ask everyone, get you thinking about it, right? And the first.
Too. And you people too.
Yeah, the first guy that we're going to ask about this, so we want you to get, and there is no better expert. Let me tell you, our focus is just going nuts. Am I moving my hands too much? Right? Is this, guys?
Hey, you're like Maddie.
Think about it while we're all marinating here. But if there was a Mount Rushmore of Christmas, who would be on it? Christmas in general. A Mount Rushmore of Christmas, not Christmas.
Like some examples.
I'll give you an example.
Like you're saying Christmas. I mean, what does that entail?
I just mean like it's not Christmas to you without looking at this.
Oh, you're talking about the movies?
No, not movies. It was whatever. Yeah, it could be like reading a book or
having eggnog.
Yes, having eggnog, watching a movie. Again, every year you go and take a picture with Santa. Santa. Okay, guys, Santa would be the icon of the Mount Rushmore of Christmas. Just like if you did a Mount Rushmore of superheroes.
Santa Claus?
Yeah, exactly. If you did a Mount Rushmore of superheroes, Superman's on it. That's a given. Okay, there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Maybe.
You know,
no, I mean, for me, it's for sure. But
yeah, no, I get it. But I want to bring in our first guest tonight, and he only can stay with us for people.
Yeah, that's for you too.
Yeah, this is for you too. But guys, I want you to welcome our good friend Jerry Davila.
Jerry,
totally.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Jerry?
How are you?
I'm doing good. Very well, sir. Sorry to keep you in the back for so long. I know you only got a short time, and we don't want to keep you because I know you got Frosty with the kids. Because Jerry is also a top tier dad. That goes without saying.
I try. Yeah.
Cheers
so
to you, Jerry.
watching Frosty and and then I have a recording. I'm a guest on another show
Yeah,
talking Christmas things.
Jerry is forever
So,
busy.
Yeah, this is the
um,
busiest time.
Yes, exactly.
yes, it is.
For anyone that doesn't know, Jerry works at the largest. Say it for me, Jerry, because I'm going to get it wrong.
It's the largest Christmas store in Texas. It's the second largest in the U.S. It's Decorators Warehouse. Yeah.
Decorators Warehouse, guys. If you are ever in the DFW area, right, Jerry?
Yes, yeah.
In
DFW.
the DFW area, Dallas Fort Worth, you got to go to Collectors Warehouse. Decorators
Go there
Warehouse.
too.
You
Yeah,
know
that
what?
sounds awesome. I want to go to
You know what,
Collectors
guys?
Warehouse.
Let's make our own store called Collectors Warehouse.
I'm in. I am in.
And guys, if you want to catch a fantastic Christmas podcast about everything rad in the 80s, it's right there at the website, totallyradchristmas.com. Go check it out.
Appreciate it.
But Jerry, we don't want to keep you too long. We want to respect your time. Before we want to get to the really important things, what do you think about the Superman trailer?
Oh, I'm all in. Literally the only thing I did not like about it was Clark Kent's hair. Other than that, I was like, I loved it. It was optimistic. It was bold. It was fun. It was hopeful. We got to see some of the other I know they're still popular, but to me they're kind of B-list, C-list tier heroes. Guy Gardner, come on,
Hey, Guy.
I'm a Hal Jordan guy, but I'm in. Like, I'm ready. Let's do this and give it to me now. And I think Henry Cavill got really dealt an unfair hand because he was given just terrible direction and material to work with. When he was nice and hopeful and upbeat in Justice League and some of those, you could see there was brilliance as Superman there, but most of his stuff was just dour and you just felt so bad for him. But Corin Sweat looks amazing, and it seems and he seems like he has a great material to work with. So I'm ready for it. Let's go.
Yeah. I say, Gunn did show us a lot of infusion of heart in Guardians, and if he can infuse Superman with that heart, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay.
Yeah.
But I got to see it happen. But Jerry, if you can, I know this is probably super hard for you, but you've been tasked with building the Mount Rushmore of Christmas. And I just mean that in general. You're talking about movies, lore, all the things.
Just anything.
Who goes on your Mount Rushmore, Jerry? I gotta know.
Okay, well, there's 3 that are easy: Santa, Rudolph, and Frosty. Right away. Those are them.
I love it. And Frosty could be controversial, right? Well, I don't know. Does everyone think about? I feel like I don't know. Well, Jerry, you tell us why Frosty.
It's because he's supernatural. Is that why?
well, that's part of it. But so growing up every year, and maybe it's just me, but it seems like a lot of folks in the Christmas Podcast Network know all the Rankin Bass specials. So when you think of the big Rankin Bass specials, you have Santa Claus is Coming to Town, you have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and you have Frosty the Snowman, the animated one. Those are the big 3. And then there's some other ones like The Year Without a Santa Claus, where we were introduced to the Miser Brothers and, some of those smaller ones. But to me, at least for me, it's not Christmas if I don't see those. I have to watch those 3.
Right.
Now, the 4th spot's hard for me because it could either be The Grinch.
Ooh.
I think that would be a good solid choice at this point.
Yep.
Or Ebenezer Scrooge, I think would also work.
I was thinking about it.
So I might give the Grinch the edge just a little bit, because there's been I feel like nowadays you go to a store and everything's like Merry Grinchmas and it's just Grinch all over the place. So I think they might get the edge for me a little bit. But that's my mythical Christmas Mount Rushmore. If we were to do just Christmas characters, then it would be Clark Griswold, Charlie Brown, probably Scrooge on that one for sure, and Kevin McAllister.
I love it.
Yeah. Kevin McAllister's got to be on there.
Me and Double
maybe
A
George Bailey.
I like that too. Me and Double A are in charge of this Mount Rushmore project. We're going to give you 8. We're going to go ahead and give you 8 people you can put on. So you just go nuts, Jerry.
I love it. I'll take it. Yeah,
Jerry, man, we really got to do this where you have more time. We can spend time hanging out with you because we love having you on. We love being on your show.
Yeah, it's been. I tried to be smart and pre-record everything this year. But now editing it has been like the big downfall for me. So
Yeah,
I need to just
well,
do some live shows like you guys and just, forget about the editing. But
no, Jerry, you do fantastic. If you guys ever hear Jerry's Christmas wrestling episodes or his Halloween wrestling episodes with us, they're so great. He cuts in clips from the matches and the talking, and it's just wonderful.
it's so much fun. Yeah, so much fun.
Our-
But yes, so I do want to do the Doctor Doom Christmas comic with you guys. I'd love
Let's
to
do
do that.
that.
I'm still a little upset you didn't invite me to talk Dr. Doom on, but that's
I
okay.
know. I'm so sorry, Jerry. You know,
Just
we're
Just
forever.
saying I pushed the idea. I don't know. I'm just kidding. It's all good.
He moves the needle, Jerry. He moves the needle. Jerry, look at this. Our guest Pedro Lopez here says he decorated for us 30 minutes away from him.
Right on. Come on in.
Pedro,
Say hey.
go see
Yeah.
Jerry. Say you talked with him on just the other Friday night, and you know, you'll get some
And that's
love
it.
there.
And
Yeah.
that's it.
And that's it. I won't offer anything
No
beyond
discount.
that because I
No
can't.
discount.
I'll give you 25% off.
Hey, there you go. You heard it here first, Pedro Lopez. Go there, and you're gonna get that. Jerry, I rarely have an opportunity to do this with you being here, man. But I want to say thank you so much for the Christmas gift, man. I got this earlier. I opened it. I saw it said CM Chuck on the Amazon thing, and I was like, "Who calls me that?" And, I was like, and then I saw what it was, and I was like, "There was no note. You didn't do the Amazon note, or if
Nope.
you did, they didn't put it there." So I knew.
No, I
this-
didn't. Yeah.
I can't wait to play this with my nephew and maybe Double A and his wife and my
Yeah,
sister.
guys, you
Go
guys have
check that
fun.
out. Yeah, we're huge fans. Jerry, thank you so much, man, for taking some time to come out here and be with us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, we cannot do a Christmas episode without you guys now. And I feel like, guys, if you want, again, great Christmas podcasting, you cannot get better than Jerry D and Totally Rad Christmas. Go check it out.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Jerry, do you want to plug anything additional?
No, I mean, you kind of plugged it all for me. I got a couple of last minute things, a few episodes dropping all the way through Christmas Day. And on Christmas Day, it's
Awesome.
my 300th episode.
I can't wait.
So I'm excited for that official episode. There's been a lot of bonus episodes, but they don't count. So
They count. Yeah.
no, they don't
They
count. They don't count. So yeah, episode 300 will
Nice.
be in. So
Very
yeah,
nice.
so just
On Christmas
check it out.
Day,
On
And
Christmas Day.
on
time.
Christmas Day, I wasn't going to be planned like that, but it worked out. So, mysterious ways and whatnot. So can't wait
Exactly.
to talk Dr. Doom with you guys. And, I have a few other things here and there that I'll throw your way. We still got to do Silver Hawks.
Silverhawks. Yeah. I
So,
want to do that big time. Yeah.
Jazz for that one. And then there's a few other like crazy obscure anime things that are kind of cool that I think you guys would really dig. So we'll get into it.
Yeah.
But-
Right there. And you hear it. Pedro Lopez says, can't beat 25% off. Jerry, we want to wish you a very Merry
Yeah,
Christmas.
Merry
Jerry.
Christmas, Jerry.
You and
Merry
your family.
Christmas to you guys. Have a totally rad Christmas and a dope new year. So,
Absolutely. We love you, bud. Enjoy Frosty
Love
with the kids, okay?
All right. Back at you.
All right,
Love you too.
We'll see you later.
Take it easy. All right. Bye-bye.
Guys, that's Jerry D. Totally Rad Christmas, man. Again, a great podcast. You go on that show and you can find me and Double A on talking Thundercats.
Robotech,
Robotech.
Thundercats. We're on a wrestling episode. Sien's been on
Several
way
wrestling
more.
episodes,
Yeah, he's been way on a lot more.
Dude, the ones I've done with you have been great. Brave Star.
Brave Star.
Me
Man, I
and
always
you,
forget about
me and
Brave Star.
Double A talking Brave Star with Jerry D. Me and Double A talking Thundercats with Jerry D. Me and Double A. Guys, I'd never seen any Gundam Wing. And Jerry and Double A come in
no.
and War in the Pocket. Man, I was a whole mess. And I think I want to
What
watch
comic
that this
did we
Christmas.
do,
Oh,
The X-Men one.
2 something. Yeah.
Yeah, well, long
The
shot.
Australian X-Men.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Jerry D is a huge comic book aficionado. He's a fantastic podcaster, one of the best, if not the best. I've had a chance to know in person, and he's just a wonderful all-around human being. So,
Oh yeah.
Jerry D, cheers to you,
Cheers.
bud, and Merry Christmas to you and the fam again, and Totally Rad Christmas.
Okay, so real quick, go back.
Yeah,
let me
hit him up,
see.
Bill. Hit him up, Bill. Hit him
Pedro
up.
says, I've been loving the Skeleton Crew. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I'm really liking it.
And he said, I also enjoyed Red One. Then again, I'm a Rocks
Stan. Yeah,
Yeah,
no
I like
doubt.
Rocks.
Yeah. And dude, did you watch it? You told me you watched it with the wife, right?
What?
Red One?
No.
Oh, you haven't watched it. Okay. Yeah. I felt like, again, it was just a lot of fun. So the guy that, can I spoil a little bit?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
Krampus comes out,
Okay.
and it's voiced by the guy that's Tormund from Game of Thrones, Redbeard.
Oh,
Big
that
Red Beard.
idiot.
And he's great. He's great
Is he?
as Krampus.
All right.
Yeah, it's fun, and I feel like it can be one of these movies that you watch every Christmas.
It might be. Because I mean, if you really think about it, there's a lot of Christmas movies that flop.
Right. Yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life, usually considered one of the best. Flopped. Christmas Story, usually considered one of the best. Flopped at the theaters. Yes. There's been a lot of Christmas movies that have flopped. So
I don't think I knew that. What else you got?
Random Korean says can't be Christmas in Australia without mosquito repellent.
Oh,
Our Christmas is going to be pretty damn hot too, and
Yeah.
from what the weather is saying, wet as well. So,
Random Korean, are you in Australia? I don't know if I knew that. Yeah. Very cool.
Proxzilla.
P-Rockzilla or
Salute.
Proxzilla.
What percentage of alcohol you fellas drinking? This one is.
I'm just having a Yingling from the oldest brewery in
mine's
America,
like a 4.
Philadelphia. Yeah, I think it's like a 4.3.
4.5.
But Proxzilla, I have had a little bit of this because winter is here.
Yeah.
I have had a little bit of the White Walker, Game of Thrones, Johnny Walker. This is an old one, if you guys know this. It came out when the show was finishing. But I tell you guys, it's not a smooth drink, and I've been working on it since it came out. The bottle, I'm nearing the end, but it's cool because if you freeze it, you get like a different image on there or whatever.
Are you drinking?
Yeah, Proxzilla.
Are you drinking?
What
are you?
And
doing?
if so, what are you drinking? You know what, Proxzilla? I'll have a drink with you if you're gonna have it.
Now, Proxzilla and Pedro Ghost, they both say they sneak in their own beer. Well,
Damn.
beer and items into the deal.
Well, you were talking about the pricing
because it's
not a bad idea.
Super expensive.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean,
then he says cheers. Nice. Cheers.
thank you. Cheers, Proxzilla.
And Pedro Lopez tells him hi.
I love that.
And he is drinking a double IPA. Ooh, 9.2.
Ooh, a big boy. You're drinking a big boy right there. Yeah. Yeah. We can't have too many of those.
I gotta have like 3 of these or something like that too.
Yeah, a little bit right there. But you know what? Proxzilla, Random Korean, Pedro Lopez. Let me ask you guys. You kind of heard the topic
Pedro,
already.
my man.
You heard the topic a little bit already, right? We're talking if you could make a Mount Rushmore of Christmas. And
Like, what would complete your Christmas?
Right, like Jerry said, and I gotta say, I'm a Frosty enthusiast, but it's harder now, right? Because you know what, Double you've kind of taught me, and my sister has already, I think, watched it twice. But like Clark Griswold has become like an icon of Christmas to her.
Yeah,
I mean, and you are the one that told me. You said watch it because you said when you see Clark, you'll be like, and now every time I see him, when I go into her room when she's watching it, I get sucked and I start watching because I'm just like, I feel this man's pain. I feel this man's right up to the end when he's like, oh no. Ain't nobody walking out on this good old fashioned family Christmas. I feel Clark, you know what I mean? And Jerry hit it on the nose with things like Kevin McAllister.
It can be movies, but Sam is also saying too, like, what do you have to do? What 4 things do you have to do that makes it that makes your Christmas complete? Either watching a movie, maybe doing the tree with the family, eating, drinking eggnog at least with your dad, or having alcohol with your family, or maybe or having a turkey. Maybe turkey, right? You always have to have a turkey. Like, what is the 4 things that would complete your Christmas?
Maybe the night before Christmas Eve, before you get everything ready. Let me tell a quick story, Proxzilla. Growing up, I spent most of my Christmas Eves at this man's house. I would go there where his mom would have this big party, his aunts and uncles, everybody would drink, you know what I mean, and hang out, the adults. And the kids, I'd go right back to the room with the cousins. We'd start playing video games, whatever the system at the time was. We'd be hanging out, we'd be waiting for midnight. You know what I mean? As we got older, we kind of became the ones drinking, you know what I mean? So it was like, and then later on, you develop other traditions, right? Like, okay, well, on the 23rd, I spend it with my friends, and we get together, we go to a bar, and we drink. So you're like, maybe it's like your best friend Joey. Or whatever.
Like my wife, they have a Christmas Eve where they watch Love Actually.
Love Actually, yeah. Yeah. So I mean, like, if you're like, man, on my Mount Rushmore of Christmas, it would be like Santa, because I take my kids to see Santa, my brother Joey, Steve the garbage man, who I always give a $100 bill to, and then like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Like, what makes Christmas to you? Because who would you put on that Mount Rushmore? Because some things, a lot of times it is movies and shows and cartoons and certain characters. Like we said, Scrooge, right? There's many incarnations.
Maybe
a song,
Maybe if you hear a song, you'll be like, oh, finally.
Maybe George Michael's on your list. Maybe Nat King Cole. Maybe Elvis, Dolly Parton, right? they could be on your Mount Rushmore because they make Christmas to you. So that's kind of what we want to hear.
Let me see what Pedro says. Santa Claus, Mariah Carey, Ralphie, my ET Christmas ornament I made back in '82. Shit.
Pedro, that's a fucking fantastic list.
There you go.
And I would very much like to see that ET ornament.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've been kind of in an ET.
What is that? Like that's 42 years?
Yeah. They just released, I think, like a 40th Blu-ray like not that long ago, I don't think.
Yeah, but for the ornament to make it that long,
dude, you've been hanging on, dude. That's good. Keeping it pristine. Believe me, that's one thing too, right? Like, we always get a real tree in my house. Like, that's a thing. Me and my sister, when we got our house, we were like, we will never not have a real tree ever. So we always get a real tree, unless someone develops a crazy pine allergy, then we won't. But we got a real tree in the house right now, and I love it. It smells like pine. You know what I mean? So that's like one of our things. Go ahead, Double.
Progdilla says Gremlins, Home Alone, National Lampoon's Christmas, and Harry Potter movie-wise.
I love that.
Now,
I imagine the Mount Rushmore with like the video cases and then like just Harry himself. You know what I mean?
Now, for in general, it would be Pernell, Hispanic pork.
Oh,
am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Christmas lights around the house. Christmas lights around the house. Snow and family over.
Progzilla, you're somewhere cold. See here, me and Double A, we're in the deep south. South Texas,
yeah,
and
it's gonna be nice and
nice
muggy.
Nice and muggy. Tell us where you are, Progzilla, if you're okay to reveal, because we're very interested in cold weather.
Vintage Rebellion Podcast says, "Sup, dudes?
What is up, Vintage Rebellion Podcast? All the way from cold Canada.
Real trees is a must.
I love that.
Real tree. You guys fans?
Oh, come on, come on, Vintage Rebellion. You guys are up there.
Says he's on the East Coast.
Oh, okay.
Cheers to you on the East Coast.
Man, cheers to the East Coast, and cheers to our Canadian brothers, Vintage Rebellion Podcast.
You guys always get that white Christmas.
Exactly. VRP. Let me ask you guys, what is on your Mount Rushmore of Christmas? Tell us if you can.
Yeah, and that's like what 4 things do you have to do that makes your month of December, your Christmas, complete?
Double A, again, we are here in South Texas, in San Antonio, Texas, the home of the Alamo, the home of many Latinos. I can tell you right now, many of their Mount Rushmores would be 4 tamales. It would just be 4 tamales. Yep. And
standing in line.
I'm okay with that.
Getting tamales.
The other day, I got laughed at work because I was eating a tamale like a churro. I was eating it standing upright. They were like, "We'd never seen anybody eat a tamale like that." And I was like, "Oh, I'm just getting warmed up. You eat it like this, I get whole too." I eat like a churro, man. Give me a fucking tamale right now.
Proxilla says, "I need my 4 seasons."
Yeah, you know
we
what?
Get about 2 here,
and the long one is summer. So. Remember in Game of Thrones where the seasons were like 10 years long? That's kind of how it is. Endless.
Vintage Rebellion Podcast says it actually just snowed today.
I love it.
Perfect
for you, brother.
timing.
I love it. Vintage Rebellion Podcast likes that hot weather. You know what I mean? Get very hot right there.
I really wish they would have made that what do you call those?
That tauntaun where you can get inside.
That'd be so cool.
And he smells bad. I thought he smelled bad on the outside.
Man, that'd be awesome.
You know, that's like one of the finest Han moments, right? Like I'm like, yeah, what an innovator.
What smart, right?
And again, that's Empire, right? Yeah. Empire's such a great movie. So many things.
Let me see. Proxilla says winter is coming.
I got the bottle, brother.
Vintage Rebellion Podcast says watching Trading Places, Mexican Coke, apple fritters from St. Jacob's Farmers Market.
That's 3. You need one more.
One more, please.
I like the bottle of Mexican Coke.
Right there, I think
it's coming. Okay, I like that. Trading Places, fantastic. There's nothing like seeing Dan Aykroyd.
You know, that's one movie that I always kind of forget.
Trading Places?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I forget too. Yeah.
And that actually is a really good Christmas movie.
And that is where I first fell in love with boobs because Jamie Lee Curtis, for many, many years, all the way up probably until season 1 of True Detective, when I saw Alexandra Daddario, I was like, that's the greatest pair of boobs I've ever seen. People don't know that about Jamie Lee Curtis. Watch Trading Places. I know that might not feel festive, but trust me,
it's pretty festive.
Yeah, because it makes me very happy.
Pedro says, "Miss my grandma's tamales."
Oh man,
it's terrible
yeah,
when you don't get the homemade ones anymore.
And I'm interested about that pork, pernilla. I don't think have we ever had. Maybe that's what goes inside the tamale. I don't know, but
they just call it pork.
That's cool. Yeah, Pedro Lopez. Again, you know what? But I'm always learning about. Remember when Robert Rodriguez is cooking that puerco pibil?
Yeah.
In Once Upon a Time Mexico.
Yes.
I'd never heard of that. Have you ever had that? And I was like, I think I've heard it's just like seasoned like a pork cooked a certain way, but I was like, Johnny Depp's trying to get the best Puerco Pibil, and I was like, we never had that. We're Mexican. Like, I think we're very Tex-Mex though. We're very Tex-Mex.
Very
Yeah.
Tex-Mex.
So it is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
But Double A, we're into the topic. Give me as we're gonna progress on. We'll go one by one. What is one thing on your Christmas Mount Rushmore that gets you, or that you would be building your mountain and you got to put that on there?
I gotta watch Christmas Carol. I have to watch that one.
Which one? The
Anyone.
original?
The
Anyone?
George C. Scott one,
The Muppet one?
Patrick Stewart one, the Jim
Muppet
Carrey one. I never saw that one.
You never saw the Muppet one?
I'm not big on the Muppets.
Yeah, but Scrooge is played by Michael Caine. Fantastic.
I like
Scrooge.
Michael Caine. I like Michael.
You love Michael Caine. Kermit as
I just don't dig on those Muppets.
what? Double A, you're gonna break your cousin Amy's heart.
I
You're
don't
gonna
dig on them.
she'll make you watch it.
I'm more Sesame Street.
She gets, well, they're Muppets. They're a form of the Muppet.
Yeah, but
They're all
I don't
family.
know. I like Big Bird more than Kermit.
I guess I was always a Kermit guy because he liked pork and I like pork too.
He liked a lot of pork.
I like pork. Man, like
Hey,
pork.
that's good on him. Shit.
Good on him.
Good on him.
This show took an erotic turn, I think. Okay, Double A, so you giving me one. So it would be okay. So would you put Scrooge on there or just a Christmas Carol?
Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol.
That'd be
Okay.
good.
You love the whole story.
Yes.
The story
The
of
story's great.
Of,
It's the ghost
I
coming
know.
from past, present, future.
You know what it is, Double A. It's a redemption story.
Yeah, it
You
is
like,
a
you like
redemption
that.
story.
I
That's
like
why-
Scrooge's
That's
story.
what I love about Lethal Weapon, the first
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Riggs is so fucking far into like wanting to die, wanting to commit suicide, that by the end of the movie he finds a family, and he's happy, and he's cheerful.
Murtaugh's family.
He becomes
Damn.
part of that family.
That's deep, though.
Yeah.
I never got that from the
Yeah.
Pretty fucking
Watch
great,
the
though.
first one again.
Yeah.
See how fucking far he is.
Go spit, Riggs.
Oh, that's part 3.
I'm too old for this shit. Wonderful. More comments, Double A? Did we miss something here?
Nope.
Okay. For me, so I thought about it in a lot of different ways, and my very first list was almost identical to Jerry's. It was Santa, Rudolph, Frosty, the Grinch. But I was like, why did I pick those four? I mean, Santa, like, to me is Christmas. Like, for many of you guys will notice when I talk about things, right? It's like the biggest thing of the whole thing. When I think about Superman, Superman's not just DC. Superman's not just a superhero. Superman, like, is comic books.
He went beyond.
Yeah, Superman is
He's
comic
one of those
books.
characters that went beyond all that.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like, people, Batman is DC, but Superman is comic books. Superman is superheroes. He's the guy. Hulk Hogan, for me, in wrestling was like that too for a long time. Even because the guy did good, and when he did good, no one did good better than him. And when he did bad, no one did bad better than him because he did good so good. So for me, it was like Hulk Hogan was the guy. I got to meet Hulk Hogan one time before all this political shit. And I remember, and I've told the story before, I remember coming back to work, and this girl, her name was Amy, she worked with me. She goes, "You are beaming." And I'd never had anyone tell me that. And she's like, "You have the biggest smile on your face." And you're like, and I think I was like glowing. I felt like that was the closest I was going to ever get to meeting Superman, because when I was a kid, that guy was Superman. You know what I mean? Besides Superman, he was real. He was someone I saw on TV, and he beat all the bad guys, and he told you to say your prayers. He told you to eat your vitamins. You know what I mean? And when he was getting beat down by the bigger, badder guy, he could Hulk up. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, I want to be that guy. I want to be strong. I want to be big like him. You know what I mean? So Hulk Hogan was one thing that like transcended, wrestling for me. He was wrestling, Superman was comic books, was superheroes. So when I think about Santa, that's what Santa, like, there is no Christmas without Santa. You gotta have Santa. Like, he's the guy. He's the guy. You know what I mean? So it's like it revolves around him, and that's kind of one of the things. I don't want to spoil it, but that's kind of one of the things about Red One that I really liked, that it honed in on. Although there's many good deep messages in it, and I loved it. I really did love it. I want you to watch it. You're gonna like it. You're gonna all like it. Yeah. And I want to hear your thoughts too. So,
Yeah, we are.
So Double A's got A Christmas Carol.
I have to watch a version of that one.
It's probably the most Christmas story, right? It's like the icon of Christmas stories. And then
Yeah, because like his story is kind of sad. Like if anyone really doesn't know about Scrooge, they think it's about him being a tight ass and everything and not really happy. His story, like he pretty much like his father doesn't like him, so he leaves him at school. Like even when everyone gets to go home, he has to stay there. So I mean, he has really bad abandonment issues. Then his sister gives birth, but she dies at birth. His sister was the only one that ever showed him love, and so he hates the nephew because he blames the nephew for causing the death to the one person that loved him a lot.
The nephew is not Bob Cratchit, though, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was like, fuck, that's dark.
No.
I don't think I knew this stuff you're saying.
Yeah, and then he has a relationship where he's like really happy just being like doing the job that he's doing, but then money consumes him because obviously he got abandoned. He was poor, and he was like, I'm never going to be poor again, no matter what happens. I'm never going to be poor again.
That's kind of awesome, actually.
And he's like, but like it's at the cost of the one relationship where he probably could have been happy. That's kind of what like seals the deal. What really turns him real full of hate is when she leaves him. And so he's just miserable the whole time.
He's like Kingpin.
He hates it.
Kingpin's
Again,
like
he hates a nephew because the sister died. Fuck the dad. The woman left him. She could have been with him. Rich, but she decided to leave him, and he's just miserable. He just hates all that.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, my nephew was in choir for a while when he was in his elementary school, and the 2 years they did it back to back. They bring in the elementary kids to sing like behind the play, which the play is the high school kids, and both years they did a Christmas Carol, and in that version, both years was played by an African American gal. She played Scrooge, and she did a fantastic job. But I saw it twice, and I don't think I picked up all those nuances.
Watch
which version do you like?
So find like the Patrick Stewart one,
okay,
or watch
where
the
he's
Dorsey,
Scrooge.
yeah, or watch the Dorsey Scott one.
Okay,
and I think you'll like that. Even the Jim Carrey one on Disney Plus. That was actually really good too.
I'll watch both of it. Now, I mean, I'm like, damn, that's
because it's
dark.
like you kind of understand Scrooge a little bit. You're like, damn, like all these bad things happen to him.
Hey, you know what's funny, though? Do you feel like though, like you appreciate that, like because we're adults now?
Yes.
Because you don't think when you're a kid, Scrooge is just the bad guy, right?
Because all you ever heard was like, oh man, he's a tight asshole with all the money and blah 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 and everything. Just like
even in Scrooge with Bill Murray, you're kind of like, oh, what a fucking ass, especially when you don't like it.
It was okay. It's
okay.
Fine.
My sister loves it.
It's fine.
But
I think you would enjoy like the Stewart one or the Jim Carrey one a lot.
I'm gonna see which one I can find because
watch the Jim Carrey.
Okay.
Because they did it like Polar Express.
Oh, all right.
So that one, and it's by Zemeckis, Robert Zemeckis.
Streaming?
It is. It's on Disney Plus.
Okay.
So it's real easy to get, and I think you'll like that version a lot.
I'm
like Jim Carrey doesn't do none of his Jim Carrey shit.
Oh,
he does a really good voice acting.
Oh, really?
Job. Yeah. Watch that movie, and you'll be blown away. You'll be like, holy shit.
I was about to say, of the three you named, probably only one is streaming somewhere easily. So that probably
it's gonna be that one.
It's accessible.
Yeah, it's gonna be that one.
I'll definitely check it out. I mean, I don't think I knew any of that about
it's
that.
Pretty sad.
I've seen the play twice, and I mean, like I know the Muppet one, and I'm like, did all that come out? Because maybe I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, you'll be like, holy shit, I kind of understand this guy.
I love a redemption arc,
and it is. It's very redemptive.
Whatever. Yeah, guys, thank you all so much for being here tonight, joining us for Home with the Holidays with Just Another Friday Night, our Christmas extravaganza. Again, we rarely do a Christmas show. We were so happy earlier Jerry D showed up, hopped in with us. And again, we're just talking about, a loose theme of our show tonight is who would be on your Mount Rushmore of Christmas and all the different.
Now, there are some cartoons I do like. They're not on my Mount Rushmore.
No, yeah.
But I do like, I love watching The Grinch, the cartoon. I love watching that one. I love hearing the song too. You're a mean one.
You're a mean one.
I love the Garfield Christmas cartoon. That's actually on Peacock. So I was like pleasantly surprised that that was there. That was fun. The Charlie Brown Christmas, obviously, that's always fun to watch.
Oh yeah, my sister loves that one. And it kind of sucks they've all gone to Apple, right?
But there was one day that Apple actually did let you see it for free. It was on the 14th, and I completely missed that fucking day. There was one day where you could stream just that episode anywhere, and I missed it. I was like,
Ah.
son of a bitch.
Damn it. Anytime you want to watch, I got Apple, and we have the DVD too.
Yeah, I know, but it was like that one day they're like they let everyone see it. It was almost like you know how that Saturday airing. There was always that one Saturday airing that
Yes,
aired.
I
You
know.
know, the Charlie Brown. Let me see. I feel like there is some.
Well, earlier when Jerry D was talking about Rankin Bass, he's talking about the
Oh.
creators. You're talking about the creators of like Rudolph, the creators of Frosty the Snowman, and then the what's the other one we said?
It was Rudolph, Santa, and Frosty.
Yeah, the like kind of the claymation ones you see that come on. Those are always like, you know, you see those every year. You know, so you know, those I feel too. I feel like I have to watch that classic claymation Rudolph. I have to watch, you know, Frosty the Snowman, you know, happy birthday. You know, when I was a kid, Frosty was my guy. I was always like, man, I like Frosty the best. It's cool. He's a snowman. You know what I mean? And I think also too, because we never saw snow, right? They're like,
No.
I want to make a snowman. I want to make a big snowman. Like we had snow a couple years back, right? Double A.
Mhm,
And me and my nephew made some little tiny snowman because there wasn't enough snow to make a big ball of snow with a big bottom and a big man. I put a coat on him and find a corn cob pipe and you know what I mean, and a carrot. But I mean, that has always been one of my dreams. We got to make snow angels. That was kind of fun. But one day I want to be up north somewhere and I want to where there's a lot of fucking snow and I want to make a big fucking snowman. Because I thought I think snowmen are cool. You know what I mean? So I'd always liked Frosty. And I remember that story being kind of sad when I was a kid. I was like, man, like, you know, that's where my emotional trauma probably stems from. is like I was like, hey, he fucking melted away. Like I was like, I'm devastated. You know what I mean? Like, you know, but also too, you know, Hermie from fucking my dad always brings up, he's like, man, you're like fucking Hermie. You know what I mean? I'm like, why? Because we don't want to be
Damn.
we don't want to wear the misfits, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. So we're just like, you know, that's I always think about that one. And then of course, as we got older, there were different incarnations and jokes and all that, right? Remember the famous Mad TV?
Man. Yeah, that
Raging
was great.
Rudolph. I mean,
Yeah,
CD,
Don Cornelione.
you Cornelione. If you guys get a chance, look up Raging Rudolph Mad TV from the 90s. It is a fucking riot. I mean, like, it is so hilarious. Like, talk about an old sketch, right? The way that etched its sting into your brain, where you're like, man, I am fucking like, I still think about it to this day. I watch it every year. I'm fucking laughing.
Oh, you do?
You know,
You
yeah.
do?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'll always look it up around this time. You know, me and my sister, we love, you know, Cheech and Chong's
They're
Santa and his old lady. You know what I mean? You know, Mamacita, donde está Santa Claus? The guy with the bony knees. You know what I mean? Like, it's so great. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's hard for me not to put something like that on my Mount Rushmore because I'm like, that's such a fond memory, you know?
especially if you feel like you have to do it. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Yeah. I mean, like we said, the Grinch, right? You know, Dr. Seuss's The Grinch is, you know, as many versions there have been now. I always go back to that 30-minute Boris Karloff. It's Boris Karloff, right?
Yes. It's like you said, there's just they did so much better in those times for 30 minutes. Like he felt like he got like a whole message in that 30 minutes.
Yeah. Do you feel like double A? I always remember I thought those were much longer. And when
I thought so
when
too.
I got older,
and then
I
when
was
I
like,
was like, wow,
30
that was
minutes. I was like, I don't even think the Charlie Brown Christmas is that long.
Yeah. Petra says, if you haven't seen it, Last Christmas, I would recommend. Yes, I have seen it. Amelia Clark. It came out like
I haven't seen that one.
And the dude who plays Snake Eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
George Michael inspired soundtrack, has heart, it's funny, stars a lovely Amelia Clark, and reminds you to always look up.
Oh, I like that. You know, Pedro Lopez, great recommendation. You know what? I'm gonna watch A Christmas Carol. I'm gonna watch Last Christmas. You know what's funny? What you mentioned new things, right? Did you see Noel with Anna Kendrick?
No.
I think it's on Disney also. Yeah, I think it's called Noel.
No, I believe you. I just
I'm trying to remember. I think it is called that. But it is so endearing, though. Like, she's great. You know, basically she's Santa's sister. And he doesn't want to be Santa. So she kind of goes to find him. She ends up in Arizona. All this, and it is just, I mean, I hear lots of things about her. I listen to her autobiography. she seems okay, you know what I mean? Like, but I've heard a lot of people say she's bitchy and all
Really?
that, whatever. But yeah,
Oh wow.
I just feel like she's very girl next door, and she's very good at playing the girl next door. So even if she's not the girl next door, I mean, I'm convinced, you know what I mean? And again, and in her autobiography, she talks about kind of like why you've got to be a certain way at certain times, and I get it. She's a woman in kind of a an environment that probably is not conducive to women succeeding, but very much, I think it's spelled Noelle. Like her name is Noelle. Yeah, I think it's on Disney Plus.
That's clever.
It is.
Pretty like
Clever. I watched it. I watched it like 2 years ago, and then I watched it again like last year, and I was like, I adore this movie. She's so cute in it. She's so fun. It's got so much Christmas spirit. It's really lovely. It's a really lovely movie. So one for you, Pedro Lopez. I'll watch Last Christmas. You watch Noelle.
One movie I do like watching too, for a lot of sentimental reasons. Mm-hmm. Four Christmases. You ever seen that one? Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon.
Yes. Is this where they're trying to avoid Christmas with the family, but they get into having to meet the family? And his brother's Jon Favreau. Yeah, Jon Favreau and J.K. Simmons.
And no, the country singer, the one that's with
Brett Yoke.
No. Well, he's in there too, actually.
No shit.
Oh man, I hate myself because he was like McGraw, Tim McGraw. Tim McGraw. He's the other brother.
Faith Hill.
The wife. And Robert Duvall's the dad.
Robert Duvall's the dad. Yeah.
But I love that movie because me and my wife quote that movie a lot, right? Like to each other, especially that beginning part. Yeah. When they're role playing.
Yeah.
But the other sentimental reason too is because me and Amy saw that movie at the theater.
Really? Yeah. I did not
me
know
and her
that.
Went to go to the theater and we saw that movie.
What? Together. That's the fucking
back in 2009.
By yourselves. Mm-hmm. That's like a one-off, right? It's funny because Kara, who sometimes joins us on this show, she always brings up like Insidious. But when she's like, you remember we went to see this at the movies together by ourselves? And I was like, that's fucking random. And I was like, I do not remember that, Kara. And what she remembers about it is she remembers that you said, don't be jumping all over me if you get scared or whatever. I told her that. And I go, that sounds like something I'd say. And then she goes, and then when you got scared, you were jumping all over me. And I was like, that sounds like I would do. I was like, what the fuck? So random. And when I rewatched it, I was like, yeah, I do remember being scared of this movie. I was like, fuck, that movie was scary as fuck. You know what I mean?
He says,
love it, Pedro Lopez. I love it, brother.
I think I like Last Christmas.
Yeah, I want to see it. I love Emilia Clarke.
She's really charming.
I just feel like she's charming.
She is.
So I'm gonna. I already like kind of like
She's charming.
It helps when you're kind of crushing on the girl.
It's funny because she works at a Christmas store, so you probably think of Jerry. At that same time.
How does Snake Eyes roll in that bitch?
He's just in there.
Like
the love interest.
Okay. He's not rich, is he?
No, that's Crazy Rich Asians that you're thinking.
Oh, okay. Well, I also feel like a lot of the Hallmark movies are I work in a Christmas store,
rich,
and then they meet some rich guy, and I'm
like, the fucking man, or the family has a mansion and everything.
Yeah,
like for sentimental reasons, like Four Christmases, I like watching
that. That's a great story.
Yeah,
I learned that tonight.
So there's some things here and there, but not my Mount Rushmore. But I do like watching Four Christmases.
Okay. I love it. Guys, we got some other guests scheduled here. One we're waiting on. He's having a little trouble connecting, but we're hoping that he'll get connected.
So, what will your Mount Rushmore be of Christmas movies that a lot of people say are not Christmas movies? Great debate.
This is my favorite sexy question.
Because obviously you have Die Hard. Mm-hmm. People are debating that endlessly. It's going to be debated for a long time.
Double A, I would easily say that in what we're talking about tonight about building Mount Rushmore, a lot of people's Mount Rushmore is going to have John McClane because it's not Christmas until they watch Die Hard.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. Ho, 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 I got a machine gun now. I'm damn.
Now I have a machine gun.
I mean, I cannot count how many times I've seen that with Friday Night or Holty Bear. We watched that Johnny.
I saw it again. Like, I don't watch it a lot.
Yeah.
But I do watch it.
Yeah.
Man, that movie is so fucking good, though.
So good.
Like, he is really good. For that being, like, kind of like his first big movie.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis, right?
Yeah.
Because he had been doing moonlighting up to that point. Man, he does a really good fucking job in that movie. Like, just his body language, the way he kind of reacts to some of the people. Like, when that one dude kisses him on the cheek, he's like, like pushes him away. Like it's like something like we would do. Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dole, what about Reginald Vell Johnson? Man,
He's good. I mean,
fucking
you want to talk
stellar.
about a movie that has like really good actors.
Yeah.
That movie has like a lot of surrounding people that they surrounded Bruce Willis with.
Yeah.
You know, that really, really good.
You know what I always remember? For years growing up, your brother would always, and I never picked it up.
Yeah, him and John
Daggett,
Uh-huh.
big time.
Them two would always say,
And I was like,
crack
what
each
the
other
fuck
up
are
so
y'all
much.
talking about?
Yeah.
And then when I was like, oh my God, this, because the movie has like subtle nuances that you'll like forget. You know what I mean? Like the whole Hans thing when he's playing the American, I had for many years, I'd seen the movie dozens of times and I
You
forgot
don't remember that part. Oh, okay.
That
When they
part,
first meet.
yeah, when they first meet, and he's like, "No, you're one of them." You know, and he's like, "That's a pretty good English accent." Hans later on, I was like, "Man, he fucking knew the whole time." Damn, John McClane's a fucking smart motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like I was like, but
fucking
Hans,
stupid on it.
yeah, but he was so good though. I was like, damn, dude, Alan Rickman is the fucking shit. You know
He
what I mean?
was, man.
He's
That was a
shit,
great
dude.
role.
When I was a kid, I tried to tape a toy gun to my back. With
Yeah,
duct
I still don't
tape.
know how he did that. He does that so perfectly. Like the top and the bottom are fucking taped to his back. I'm like, there's no way he fucking went like that. There's no way.
I remember thinking, I was like, man, that's how you beat bad guys. You got to trick, you got to surprise them. You got to have a gun taped somewhere. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, that's cool.
That was cool.
So, I mean, Die Hard is just
The
fucking
music
fantastic.
in that movie, the score, you know, besides the Christmas music, you know, but the score itself.
Run
you know,
DMC, Christmas in Hollis is like, oh yeah, you can hear the Die Hard soundtrack and you know it's Die Hard. You know? It's like,
yeah.
So you
remember
know
when he's like, hey, can you put up some Christmas music?
Yeah.
And this is Christmas music. That's awesome. But
What-
you know, Die Hard's one of those movies that it's debated about.
Yeah.
The Weapon is debated about.
right.
I brought in First Blood, and there was a little debate about First Blood.
Yeah, First Blood kind of you're right in the edge there. You know what I mean?
Last Boy Scout.
Last Boy Scout.
You know, some people say that's, you know, you can't say that's a Christmas movie.
I'll go real dark for you, AA, but American Psycho takes place during Christmas
Psycho.
time. You know what I mean?
Psycho.
It's not Christmassy at all, but
Please don't say another boob job.
yeah. But she told me he's being a Grinch or whatever.
Yeah.
You're being a real Grinch. I love Edward Scissorhands.
Batman Returns is kind of being debated about. You know,
Yeah.
the hardcore fans are like, yes, that's a Christmas movie. No, that's not a Christmas.
But let's look at Tim Burton's body of work.
It's
The
a lot
guy
of
loves
Christmas.
Christmas.
It's a lot
He
of
loves
Christmas.
But he has this kind of dark relationship with it where you're like, oh, what were Tim Burton's Christmases like? Maybe they weren't all, you know, because damn AA, for me to watch Vincent Price die and his those wax hands going into Edward's, I'm like, holy fuck, man. And they're making essentially Christmas cookies. Essentially, they're making Christmas cookies. I'm like, this is fucking, you know, it never snowed until he went up there. I mean,
I think even Sleepy Hollow, right? Kind of ends on Christmas.
does it
right?
feel like that?
No. Not like the movie, but I think at the end it kind of ends on Christmas, right?
You might
When
be
they're going
right.
to New York.
I don't know.
I think it's at the very end.
I
I'm
have
not
to
too sure.
re-see
I'm
that
not too
one,
sure.
yeah. But obviously,
Well, you're right. Tim Burton obviously has a fascination with Christmas.
Let's talk about Nightmare. A lot of people's Mount Rushmore double is going to have Jack on there, Jack Skellington,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
and
it's become an
rightfully so,
icon.
because
Yeah.
what earlier did Jerry D say? You go places and the Grinch is everywhere,
Yep.
right? Equally so, Jack
We're
Skellington.
starting
has-
to see Jack Skellington now.
yeah, and people will say, "Well, is it a Halloween movie or is it a Christmas movie?" And I said, "Well,
Both.
technically, it yeah, because it takes place right after Halloween. But he's, you know, Jack essentially steals Christmas, but then he makes things right again. But the songs, I mean, like, you know, making Christmas, da-da-da. I mean, I love it. So I definitely feel as though you know, Nightmare Before Christmas, I mean, it's in the title, right? It's a nightmare, but it's still I listened to the audiobook of the Sally story.
Really?
It was really, really good.
Nice.
Really,
I
really
almost bought
good.
that book.
No,
I almost bought it.
but you didn't buy it?
No, I didn't buy it, but I almost did.
I thought your daughter might have read it because she's
See, that's what I was
she's a big
thinking
fan.
about.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
Sea Story, right? That's what I'm reading.
Christmas
that, right?
Story. Yeah.
Christmas.
uh-huh.
I'm sorry.
Yes. No. Yeah.
Star Trek First Contact. As I had it on Christmas morning when I was actually snowing here in Texas,
Really?
and the opening soundtrack playing. Nice.
Does it take
Nice.
place during Christmas?
No,
though?
but maybe that's when he saw it.
Right. But I'm curious to know
I
though.
don't remember First Contact.
I don't think so. I can't remember
Well,
either. But
Well, in First Contact, it's like very apocalyptic. Like I think the Earth had just gone through a massive war. So maybe they did. Maybe they
But
did.
isn't it in fuck, which one is it? Double A? Is it Generations? It's one of the ones with Picard, but where you're going through that little rift.
Generations.
Generations. And when you're there, you're in your favorite moment,
Yeah.
right? And Picard's, I think, is Christmas.
Yes.
He's like being at Christmas in front of the tree, and the kids are there. And I was like, man, that's funny. Yeah. You know what? Can I kind of tell a personal story real quick?
All right.
So I was talking with my lady today, right? And Pedro,
sorry
I love that. And she's a little bummed. I think she's not kind of feeling the Christmas spirit, which made me kind of sad.
There's times you feel that way.
So last year we started this new tradition.
Okay.
In my house, and we don't have many traditions. Because remember, Double A, I was talking to her about this today. I said, I know I wanted to make her feel better about not having the Christmas spirit, and because I've been there. I think maybe a couple years ago. So time we've done this show, I'm not there.
Yeah.
But this year I have felt really good, which
That's
is
good.
nice for me. Yeah. But last year we did this tradition where instead of waiting up till midnight to do gifts or whatever and kind of being tired and like dragging, and we said, you know what, we're just gonna, my nephew said, can I just do my gifts in the morning? And I said, yeah. And I said, you know what, I'll do my gifts in the morning too with you. And I liked that a lot, and we did that.
Remember, yeah, you said how much better it was.
We loved it. Loved it. I did not realize that she did not love it, because she said, that's not how I grew up. I grew up, we wait till midnight. But the other thing, Double A too, is that, and I'm sure anybody out there with a significant other knows this, sometimes you got to split time, right? My thing was, I was like, well, this allows us to be with your family all Christmas Eve, really, and just come home whenever, because I come home and go to bed. You know what I mean? Like, my parents are getting older. I know you know this, your mom's older.
Yeah.
Like, they can't stay up late no more. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to stay up late no more. Around 7 o'clock, my nephew starts asking, can I open one? Can I open one every hour? Like, he's like, I'm kind of getting tired too. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, let's just do it all in the morning. Enjoy our Christmas Eve. If we're hanging out, we're partying, we're drinking, we're doing whatever. Because again, for many years, the tradition that we had was you go to Tia Linda's. We go to Tia Linda's and we do the Christmas thing there.
Is that what Jess was missing, or?
I don't know. But I think that she's just used to, also to this year, like with her family, we always used to do, well, we were doing with the adults, we were doing a Secret Santa. But this year we opted to not do it. And then it kind of eventually changed to like, well, now we're not doing any gifts. Like, we're like everyone, like, you're good. Because I think also too, Double A, it's like everyone buys the things in, okay, for instance, like your cousin Ruben, my brother-in-law, he what do you get the guy? The guy's got every knife and flashlight and gun you could think of. I'm like, I wouldn't know what the fuck to get him. I can't buy him a comic book. I can't buy him something that I like. You know what I mean? Like, he's a chill guy. I know that's kind of a thing right now, but he's a very chill guy. It's like, but I think people kind of almost worry. They get to the point where they're worried, like, oh, what did I get this person? Have you ever had a Double A where somebody gets you a gift you don't expect, and then you're like,
yeah, of course. That happens a lot. Because
it happened to me this year.
I never expect gifts because I don't want anything.
I know.
I tell people that and they think I'm bullshitting. I'm like, no, I go, whatever I want, I can usually buy on my own.
Right. Double A. I had a work Secret Santa this year. He gave me a really cool, because he was my work Secret Santa. He had me. I had somebody else. He gave me a really cool gift. Later, he comes up to me alone. And again, shout out to my friend Richard. You know what I mean? Richard from work. Thank you again, Richard, so much, man. Because, I don't want to paint this in a negative light, because it's not. It's awesome. But he is like, hey, man, got you this extra thing, whatever. I'm like, I think you do a lot for here work and all that stuff. And I was like, it gave me a game, dude. Fucking game. You know what I mean? Like, video game. And I'm like, I know video games aren't cheap. You know what I mean? No. And it's just like, and I was just like, I didn't know what to say. I said, Rich, this is too much. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, nah, man, you do a lot. And he's like, don't think it's a big deal, because he's a great guy. He's just like, just enjoy it. Blah, blah. He's like, I know we had talked about it, that you were gonna like it, and I was like, and I did, because it's basically all the Marvel versus Capcom games like in one thing. Yeah. Okay. And I got to play that Punisher game, man, and it's really cool because you know what it's like? It's almost like a Double Dragon, where you could play two players.
Nice.
You know who the second guy is? You're Nick Fury.
Oh,
Dude,
hey.
it's fucking so cool.
Man, that's a good pairing.
Yeah, and let me
Hey.
tell you, I played Marvel vs. Capcom, the first one, because it's got like 8 different games with my nephew, and he loved it. He's like, hey, let's play some more Marvel vs. Capcom, because he got to be Venom, you know what I mean? He got to pick Spidey. You know, he thought that was so badass.
Yeah.
And then I realized in like the second game, it's got like Doctor Doom, Magneto,
Deadpool's in one of them,
Thanos.
right?
I think so, maybe. I don't know if Deadpool is in.
I want to
but
say he's in one of them.
It's got like a shit ton of people. And he thought that was really cool. Like, wow, all these Marvel characters in a fighting game, you know? And I'm like, dude, this is what we used to play when I played that shit standing up at an arcade. But it just caught me so off guard, Double A, because I was like, I did not expect that. You know what I mean? Like, that's like something really nice, you know? You know, some of our good friends, you know, Marquise, Friday Nighter John, they have shocked me sometimes with like these gifts that are just like, I'm like, I can't, not that it's about matching it, but I'm like, I don't know what, I'm just left feeling humbled, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So, you know, it's a nice feeling. It's
it
great,
really is.
you know what I mean? But
yeah.
But I just felt like, I guess, like Jess felt like, you know, like we're not doing anything this year. Like we basically said no gifts, but then we were kind of trying to be like, well, maybe we should do White Elephant. But then it's like, you know, what do we get? And it's like she felt like we were kind of clutching at straws. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? Like we're not in the spirit of giving. And I was like, I mean, I wanted to help her, but I didn't know what to do or to say. And I don't know if anybody out there.
One of the things I was gonna get my wife, but she told me not to because her arm's kind of messed up. And I didn't know about this, but I wanted to give her a massage and spa day.
I know a great place.
I know, but she said with her arm kind of being fucked up that they might not even touch her.
Oh,
so I was like, okay.
But
I mean, you might want to do something like that. Just give her a fucking nice spa day. You know?
Yeah. Well, here's another thing. I ordered her a great gift. I ordered it at the beginning of December.
Oh shit.
And of course, I got the notice like not going to be delivered till after. And I was like, great, you know. But guys, what do you do, guys, when you feel like someone's not in the spirit or you're not in the spirit? Are there things that you do? Are there things that you find that can help you kind of get it back?
Maybe just watch a movie by yourselves.
Yeah, totally.
Go see something Christmassy. You know what I mean? Like, go see the Christmas lights. Do some shit like that. You know,
and you know what?
More Christmas music in the.
We got a couple of days. I asked her the other day, right? Because I've been playing Christmas music in the car. She always told me, she's like, connect your Bluetooth, and I'm like, okay. But I'm always kind of like this still. I'm like, how are you and your wife with music? Like, are your tastes? Okay.
I mean, I pretty much know what she likes.
Okay,
put it that way. Yeah. So I'll put some of hers. I'll put some of mine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I like the Mariah Carey song. All I Want for Christmas.
I like it too.
I don't know how all of a sudden it became like this fucking evil shit that pops in now, you know.
Well, yeah.
Like I like the Wham song.
Oh yeah,
cool. Those are really two original songs.
Yeah,
you know, but I do like the originals too at the same time. You know what I mean?
Do you know, as an adult, Double A, do you know what my favorite Christmas song is? And it's been for maybe like 3-4 years now. Do you know the Pogues' "Fairy Tale of New York"?
I might. It doesn't sound like anything.
It's kind of a bummer.
Okay. Most of the great Christmas tales are
yeah. Elvis's Blue Christmas is really fucking sad. It's like Jesus, like poor fella, you know what I mean? But yeah, Dolly Parton, Hard Candy Christmas. I looked it up. I was like, what the fuck is a hard candy? I was like, oh damn, we only had money to buy hard candy. And I mean, I was like, shit. And it was funny because recently in the office, somebody had brought some hard candy, and I was like, damn, it reminds me of like my grandma too. My grandma would have that, you know, like in a little jar or whatever. And I was like, yep, that's bad. It's bad if you're just getting the candy for Christmas. You know what I'm saying?
Christmas, I watch on Christmas. First Contact. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. See, I like that. But again, I like that it's tied to a memory.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
no, it's the same way, like to me too. So like me and my brother Will, we haven't done this in a long time, but we still talk about it like every time around this time. We like watching Stalag 17, and we like watching When Trumpets Fade. They're like two war movies that kind of had Christmas ties. Stalag 17, there's like a part where it does have Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And then When Trumpets Fade, at the very end of the movie, it plays White Christmas. The Bing Crosby version.
Mm-hmm.
So like we used to like seeing those movies when we're still living together.
Mm-hmm.
We like seeing those movies in December.
Yeah.
And me and him will always say, no matter where we're at, we're like, hey, I saw Stalag 17. Like I always message him, hey, I saw Stalag 17 this month. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, I'm gonna wait till it gets a little bit colder. You know, we'll say that to each other. You know.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I mean,
I
there's
didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny that you bring up your brother though, who's in Germany right now, Double A's brother. But me and him had kind of a cool tradition too that we would kind of inadvertently made up when we got older. We would go to our local bar here, H&R, and they would always put up this little Christmas tree, no taller than me, and I'm short. I'm like 5'5", and
But compared to a Christmas tree,
yeah. But they would kind of not have any lights on except like the tree and the few lights they had. So it would be in this kind of like what we're in right now, like this kind of pink glow. And we would get the table right by the tree, and we would just drink beer because that's all they had. They don't have liquor; it's just beer.
Yeah, okay.
So we would drink, and now they take card, but it used to be just cash. And we'd go there, and every year after that we'd go and we would talk, and we'd be like, "Man, I feel like sitting by the pink tree at H&R and just drinking some beer." And I'd be like, "Yeah, man, that was like our decompress, whatever." And we'd go there, or we would go to. In my mind, I feel like we would always go to Beethoven when it was cold.
Okay.
And I was like, we'd always go when it was cold. And you know, your brother is not necessarily the warmest guy, right? Like he's not. I would say like me. And there used to be this guy, and I think I've told you this about Mr. Merriman. Okay. Mr. Merriman, who was like a color commentator type guy from San Antonio. He called a Muhammad Ali fight once. And Mr. Merriman was always at this bar, Beethoven's, that me and Double A's older brother Will would go to. And he'd watch basketball, and he would drink out of a Schlitz mug. I don't know if he would drink Rolling Rock in his Schlitz mug. And to this day, Double A, you can go there and you can see his mug there.
Really?
He kept his mug.
Right.
Yeah. Because he would go there and he would watch the Spurs games, all the Spurs games. But when me and Double A's older brother Will, we knew the bartender so well. We would ask him like, "What's up? What's this guy's story?" They start telling us, "Oh, this guy used to like be like a mic man, you know what I mean? Yeah, commentary." And one day we start talking to him, right? And he just goes, this old frail guy, Double A, just goes into this big old, "And now coming to the ring, waiting at a ball." And like me and your brother were both like, "Holy shit!" Like it sounded fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I have this great picture of he's in this green suit. He just was wearing this green tracksuit, like hanging out, watch this again. And the guy moved real slow, real hunch, you know, like you would never guess that voice. I have this great picture of your brother helping him to get to his seat or whatever. We actually has him by the arm. And I we both know your brother. I had never seen him do anything like that, but it was like he had this so much respect that he just couldn't fucking
me and Will get like that when something like that happens. We're like, whoa.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. Guys, I go ahead, read that one.
Pedro says, "I play Carol of the Bells."
Yes.
Ray Kniff version, very loud.
I love that.
Okay.
You know Carol of the Bells because the version we love is probably the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Okay.
And
Okay. Yes.
Guys,
Vintage Rebellion says, "I could go for a First Contact rewatch. Been working through the original 6 movies lately." Nice guys.
I'm super jazzed right now about our guest. I heard it earlier, Double A,
all right,
on your roof, and I wasn't sure what I heard.
You serious, Clark?
This is this is by far the biggest guest we've ever had on Just Another Friday Night. I might tear up. Guys. All the way, guys, from the North Pole for you guys tonight. We wanted to send you guys with all of our Christmas wishes and all the love that we could give you guys. And hopefully too, I hope that, you know, my girl Jess is watching. I hope that my nephew Kellel is watching, and my sister Amy, Double A's family too. I told him tonight was going to be really special. But guys, I heard it. I heard the footsteps, but I didn't want to tell Double A because he didn't even know about this guest. But guys, the man himself, you know, from the North Pole is joining us. Santa Claus is here.
Whoa! I entered just in time to hear some really foul language. I think I've got to leave again.
I apologize, Saint Nick. You know, and actually, Santa, I've been wanting to talk about that because I think I've been on the naughty list since like 1986. I'm trying to get off. I'm working at
I'm going
it,
to tell you
sir.
something very important. I'm going to tell everybody something very important. Here's the thing. Everybody talks a lot about a naughty list. But, you know, there aren't very many bad people in the world. I know when you watch the news and everything, it seems pretty hard to believe. But the reality is the people that are the worst tend to be the loudest. You know, I think about it a lot, and I've been around for a very long time. And the reality of the matter is people are generally pretty good. I'm picking on you about your language and everything. And, you know, children, sometimes they act up. They learn about the world and they grow. Their brains are still developing and everything. But most of them grow up to be pretty decent people. You know, you love your family. You look out for your friends. You look out for your neighbors. You do some charity work. You know, you go through life. You don't hurt anybody. You don't judge anybody, you know, for who they choose to love or how they choose to vote or anything like that. You don't kick puppies. You don't do anything like that. The reality is people in general are pretty darn good. And so that's worth celebrating.
Absolutely, sir. I could not agree with you more. And essentially, that's the spirit of what we here at Just Another Friday Night celebrate. We use some foul language. We have a couple of spirits, you know. But
well, you know, children in Ireland leave Guinness out for me on Christmas Eve, and sometimes in England you might get like a shot of brandy or whiskey or something like that. But when your metabolism works as fast as mine, the effects of alcohol don't really. I burn about 4.5 million calories on Christmas Eve. So
I have no doubt, sir. And if you ever want to drop any of that excess off at AA or my house, we are more than open to it, sir. Santa, I don't even know where to really start. I am kind of choked up being here with you. You know, but thank you so much for coming to join us on
Of course.
Night. By far our greatest guest. Again, I heard reindeer on the roof. I guess you just sent them to let us know that you were going to be joining us via the North Pole, because obviously you're there and they're here, but amazing either way. So we
flight
love that.
practice, you know.
And Santa, I know your time right now is extremely valuable. We had one of your close friends on earlier tonight, Jerry D. Totally Rad.
Oh yes, I love Jerry.
And I said, man, he didn't even know you were coming tonight because I don't think he thought I could land a guest like you. I think he thought Just on the Friday Night two naughty lists for you. But I'm super pumped to have you here. Santa, first off, we got to ask you, sir, how are things going? How's prep going? How is are you ready? I know you're always ready, but are you ready?
Well, still got a few days worth of rapping to do. Let's see. Down there about where you are, it's what, Friday night? Yeah, Just Another Friday Night. That's the name of the show. So I got Saturday, Sunday, and Monday morning. Everybody's got to be done rapping. I was just out rapping before I came here. And then by Monday night, everything's got to be loaded and ready to go. So it is crunch time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, to get you on tonight on the 20th with a couple of days, I feel I'm real happy about that. Santa, let me ask you, all the incarnations that there have been of you in every type of form of media, do you have a favorite? Who's your go-to for you? And
let me tell you, I am pretty fond of Edmund Gwenn in Miracle on 34th Street, the original one. But I have to say my all-time favorite is David Huddleston, Santa Claus the Movie, 1985.
Oh, wow. What a shocker. I was kind of thinking Ed Asner, but you know, maybe not. So I
a little bit grumpy. A little
too grumpy for you. I agree. And I just saw J.K. Simmons' portrayal, a kind of a buff Santa.
He was good with kids, but yes, very, very buff. Not quite as jolly as me.
Not enough cookies. I get it. Santa, let me ask you, sir, while we have you here. Well, first, excuse me, AA, do you have any questions for the man? Santa, we're kind of talking tonight. If one was to create a Mount Rushmore of Christmas, and there is no higher authority than you on this, sir.
Mhm.
Who would be on your Mount Rushmore of Christmas? I almost want to say excluding yourself, because I feel like you're a must on anybody's. It only leaves 3 more slots, but I'm gonna let you have free reign, being sir that you
What
are.
are we talking about? Movie characters? Are we talking about?
Well, we kind of made it all encompassing. Double A earlier mentioned that for him it would be like a chiseled out A Christmas Carol, maybe the book. You know what I mean? I did mention you because I feel like all things go through you. You got to go through Santa before you get to Christmas. So but we did mention people like Clark Griswold. Jack Skellington. We mentioned
Okay.
memories, things that
Well,
you
let's see. I think up there would have to be. Well, I think you'd have to have a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
All right. The guy did save Christmas. A great reindeer
You'd
indeed.
have to have the Grinch.
Oh,
All right.
a classic redemption story.
Yeah.
Can't go without it.
Yes.
I'm loving
This
those
is a tough
choices.
one. Let's see. Instead of Charles Dickens, I think.
I love that.
Because the reality on this is, like you were talking about A Christmas Carol, but Charles Dickens really brought the joy of Christmas back to the country of England after Christmas had been illegal there for a number of years. And it wasn't illegal in his lifetime, but after it had been illegal, people didn't celebrate it the way they used to, and it never really caught back on. And Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol really helped bring it back. So Charles Dickens, Rudolph, Charles Dickens, Grinch.
That's a great 3 so far.
Let's put up there Mrs. Claus. Let's put up my wife. The chief executive and chief operating officer. Can't do anything without her. And,
Santa, you're a great husband, just like this guy is, and I know that he'd put his wife on any Mount Rushmore as well.
Oh yes, yes.
I love it. That's a fantastic Mount Rushmore. Did you have one more, Santa? I feel like you had one more.
No, I think I got 4.
Yeah,
so that I think will work.
For you, Saint Nick, we will allow 6, 7, 8. However.
Oh no, I got 4. I think I did all right. If you want to throw up a 5th one, maybe let's put Frosty the Snowman up there.
Oh, there we go. Hey, Jerry D said Frosty also. Frosty is a true icon of Christmas, sir. I cannot deny that. Santa, I also did kind of have you here for I don't want to say, but a little bit of a selfish reason. I got a little boy in my life, real important to me. Having a little trouble this season thinking about the reality of who you are. And I tried to encourage him strongly that you're the man, sir. And
the important thing is, remind me of his name.
This is Mr. Kal-El. Kind of
Kal-El. This is very important. I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. Everyone goes through a period of time. 10, 9, 11 years old, somewhere in there.
That's where he's at. Yes, sir.
Where they start to say, boy, there really can't be a Santa Claus. And they don't believe in me anymore.
Right.
And that's all right. It's pretty natural. But then you get to be a little bit older. And you realize that there's a lot of other things in the world that you do still believe in. Love.
Yes.
Family. Kindness.
Yes.
And you realize, boy, if all those things exist, maybe there really is a Santa Claus. And you start to believe again. But the important thing is, even when you don't believe in me, Santa Claus, I believe in you.
Thank you, Santa. Thank you so
Of course.
much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Double A, I'm sorry. I was so overwhelmed. I just hogged all the time.
No.
You got anything?
Santa knows how I feel about him. Thank you very much, Santa.
Santa, is there anything else you want to say? I I cannot again from the bottom of my heart thank you for being here and appreciate you, man. And I love you so much. And
I love you as
look
well.
forward-
Love you
Yeah.
both.
yeah,
And what all I'm gonna say is be good to one another, everybody, and have a Merry Christmas.
There you go.
Thank you, Santa. Thank you. I hope to see you soon, sir. And I hope that everything goes well in a couple of days. I know it will because you get it done
yes.
every year without fail, sir. So
I've
very
gotten
Merry
really good
Christmas.
at it over the years.
I do know that you have, sir. I don't think Santa has things to plug other than
Oh
Merry
no,
Christmas.
no. Just go to bed early Christmas Eve. I can't have everybody staying up and talking to me. I talk all night and I don't have time for that.
We love it. We love it. Sir, there will be extra special cookies out for you this year. Thank you so much. And Merry Christmas, Santa.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
You being here is the best. Thank you. Double A.
There you go.
Did I land a guess or did I land a freaking guess? I'm shook. I am shook.
I think Pedro shook with you because he's like, I hope he didn't know it's my avatar.
Pedro. How freaking cool is that? How freaking cool is that? I need a moment, Double A. I gotta gather myself.
Well, while you gather yourself, I would say that Polar Express, if you've never seen that movie, that one is actually really good because they do have that question in there that CM just asked Santa. You know, like the bell ringing.
Mm-hmm.
You know how he's like, he always hears it. The sister heard it, but then
Mhm.
after a while, his sister stopped hearing it too.
Yeah.
Remember? So it was kind of like,
Yeah. And it's like the man himself said, right? He's like, you don't have to believe in me because I believe in you.
Like the whole story of Santa giving gifts. I mean, that kind of flows through all of us
Mhm.
who give gifts. I mean, that's
Mhm.
that's always going to be the impact of the Santa Claus story.
Yeah.
The Santa Claus tell
Yeah.
is to give people gifts.
There's an essence. And you know what? Giving a gift, guys, is not a physical thing. It's not me handing Double A this. It's this. It's sharing
Maybe it's just being with the person that needs you
right,
that day,
giving them time, giving
Yep.
them context, giving them
or even just
attention.
a simple message. Hey, I love you, and boom, that
And
makes all the world.
and you're fantastic at that. And Double A, do you remember when we recently did Nas's comic book
Yes.
show and people just wanted to stop and just converse with us. They just wanted to just spend time talking to other people that are interested in the things they're interested into. And man, that's why I will always believe in Santa Claus. And I always know that he's there because I know that he lives inside of me, because when I have the feeling to give, I think about him. And he actually gave this to me for you, Double A.
Oh shit!
And he tasked me with giving that over to you, and
Okay.
and I think you should open it
You
up.
want me to open it?
Yeah, open it up. Open it up. And Merry Christmas. You know, he has a knack for knowing exactly what it is on your mind
Pat.
and in your heart.
Brand new stickers.
Guys, you got to take a good look at this right here. If you haven't gotten your hands on one, we can make sure to get one to you.
I love how they put the QR code.
But it's the Double
That is
A
so great.
and CM Chuck sticker. The old CM Chuck with the birthmark.
That's
Birth-
old TM. That's old Double A too. I'm
Yeah.
not green.
And
I'm
also,
not brown.
well, your beard's still looking good though. Yeah. We got to get the gray beard version. I love it though.
What is this?
You're overdue. You're overdue, and I think Santa knew you were overdue for
shit.
a
new one.
that's a
huh?
big boy right there. I love
Yeah.
it.
A new one.
And you know, there's something so special about that logo to me, Double A. And I've told you before, but we had to. If you guys know our logo with the QR code in the middle, it's hard sometimes for people to reproduce it, right? So we kind of switched to this centerpiece on some merchandise, and Santa knows this. And this logo is very similar, if not identical, to the logo of the company that Double A's dad worked for many years and provided for my mom through that company and for him and his brothers through, and essentially the linchpin of our family. So very special.
Hell
Double A,
yeah.
you needed it, brother.
Oh yeah.
It's time.
Yeah,
The
I
man
need an
knows.
update.
Santa knows, guys.
I need an update one.
Come on, guys. If you don't think Santa knows, then you're
He always knows.
He always knows, man. There we go, right there. Toy Mafia giving us up some love right there. We appreciate that. And Victor's says decent. I like it. I like it. Man, you know, Double A, I had one more guest in tow here, and I really wanted to talk to him about this special topic. Let me see if he's available, if he's gonna make it out. I'm trying here. I really want to talk to him.
Since you'll do that.
Go,
So again, it's not kind of like on my Mount Rushmore, right? Like you
Yeah.
said 4 things.
Yeah, we
right?
got a couple more spots to go. Yeah.
But there are some things that I like to do. But if it doesn't happen, you know, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. You know what I mean? Right. See, I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, some things I do like to do. You know, I would like to go through a certain list of movies. You know, I would like to see, you know, Die Hard, Lethal Weapon,
Yeah. Sure.
First Blood, you know, The Grinch, It's a Wonderful Life. I always feel like I have to see that one.
Right.
Christmas Story. Like I always like seeing a certain set of movies. Christmas Vacation. You know, I always feel like I have to see those in December. But if I don't get to them, I don't get to them. You know, so it's no big deal. Let me see. I think I said Christmas Carol was one I have to do.
Yes.
Another one that I probably would have to do on my Mount Rushmore. Nutcrackers.
Yeah.
Nutcrackers
love
is my
Nutcrackers.
thing, and I have like a big collection that I started like really when I got with my wife. I was like, you know what, this is my house now. She, you know, we got a house, and you know, now I can decorate it as much as I want. Right? So I was like, okay, so Nutcrackers. I would buy at least 1 or 2, and that's all I would get. I wouldn't go overboard with it, but I get Nutcrackers. So I like to get at least 1 Nutcracker a year.
Yeah.
And 1 village, 1 piece of a village, a house, because I have a village too. And so that's like another Mount Rushmore thing. I have to get at least 1 Nutcracker and a village.
Did you add this year?
Yeah, I did.
What?
Yeah.
What?
And if I don't add, usually somebody always gets
you in
because they know I like Nutcrackers and villages.
And you know what's funny is that if you guys follow our show, this goes back to our probably maybe our only Christmas episode. You talked about that, and every time I see those things now, I think about you.
Yeah, I love Nutcrackers.
Yeah.
Now I don't like any of them. They have to have a certain look.
Right.
They have to look like regal.
Yeah.
And very Christmassy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like they have to look like they're wearing capes.
Right.
And
Right.
you know, they sparkle and all that kind of
Yeah.
shit. You know?
Yeah.
So,
I can always hear the music. You know what I mean? You know.
exactly. Right. You always hear the
That's
Nutcracker music. Yeah. So yeah, so for me, I have to watch A Christmas Carol, and I always have to add at least a Nutcracker or piece of village. So that's 2.
I don't know if you saw this, but they came out with like the Harry Potter town,
But did it?
the little village
Nice.
town. I'm like, dude,
That ass.
you got to add that into the mix. Look at this person here. Oh my goodness, I love reading that. Untamable Amy, more than a friend of the show, more than family of the show, of an alumni of the show, a former host. Until Amy says, Kalel, also an alumni of the show, that they saw Santa. She says, best guest ever. I cannot disagree. I think I'm still on the cloud. Double A. I'm like, you know what I mean?
Jason, what's up,
Jason
buddy?
in the house says,
Hey, y'all, been listening, just doing some doodling. So
Wanna
I haven't
see
been
that.
active in the chat, but figured I should announce myself and let you guys know I've been listening this evening. Thank you, Jason.
Jason,
Appreciate it.
we always love having you here in the chat, brother. You are a huge supporter of the Collecting Week community, and I feel like you've become a huge supporter of us. And the next time I see you, and it'll probably be soon, I'm going to put some Just Another Friday Night stickers in your hand, because as much as you support Collecting Weekly, I want you to equally support us. I think that you do, because obviously you're here.
You're always here.
And you're a great vendor. You're a great seller. You're great at posting up when you find things out in the wild and for retail price. The guy does not try. This guy is as anti-scalper as we are,
Oh,
Double A. And I love that about you, Jason. You've always given us a fair shake. and we appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for being here, man. Merry Christmas.
Pedro says, for a while when I was a kid, going to see the Nutcracker Ballet at the theater was
Wow,
tradition. See?
I never
That's
got.
awesome.
I would love
That's
to
awesome.
have seen
That's
that.
awesome,
You know what
Pedro.
I mean, that dance with the sugar plum
And you know
fairies
what?
is so iconic.
Even if you don't do it, man, that memory is with you. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
So when you see Nutcracker and when you hear the music, man, I bet you it takes you right back to that shit.
Yeah.
So that's
it's
good.
about the things that you make. Yeah.
Amy says, I'm sorry we didn't make it, but preparing Kello's room for Santa is not for the weak.
Exactly.
Oof.
Exactly.
The boys' room.
The man himself here tonight. I cannot get over it. Double A. Double A. You know what? We've tried to wait, but I don't know if we can wait anymore. Let's run down the rest of our Mount Rushmores.
Well, I would have two, Ray. You
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
to
Oh,
one.
yes. Christmas Carol and Nutcrackers.
Yeah, that's for me.
So it would be like on your Mount Rushmore. It'd be like
Yes, I have to see a version of Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol. Would be like,
And I have to get at least one Nutcracker
So,
or Village.
I imagine on the mountain it would look like the classic black hat Nutcracker, the red.
Yep.
Like that's
Yep.
fucking badass. Okay, so I've got, what did I have on mine? I've got Santa.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm geeking
the
out.
story of it, the man himself,
Yes.
the message,
Right.
everything that goes
Right.
along with the Santa legend.
And
right?
yes, I know the whole Coca-Cola thing. I know the
Man, I
red
love
Santa.
that.
I know.
You know, I love the Coca-Cola Santa.
Yeah, I love
Coca-Cola
that. Santa. Coca-Cola Santa.
That's-
I think even Santa loves Coca-Cola Santa. He's like, hey, you know what I mean? And Santa was here tonight, and he wasn't in necessarily traditional
always wanted
garbage.
to see that Nutcracker. Well, Amy, maybe you and I should go.
I like that too. Okay, so for me, the next thing is I'm gonna go there, and I'm gonna put on the Grinch,
Okay.
because this is a story that I can kind of relate to. I've been called a Grinch. I've been called grumpy. I've been called
Scrooge.
I've been called the Scrooge. Yeah, I've been kind of called them all.
They called the Rat King.
Exactly, the Rat King, and I love Christmas, and I'm like, damn, here I am. You know what I mean? But Double A knows this, just like Darth Vader. The Grinch is a redemption story, and
the Grinch didn't hurt anyone. He didn't kill anybody.
he stole from kids though. Like,
Okay, he stole, but he didn't kill kids.
he was a roast beast.
He didn't slash them with his lightsaber.
That is true. That is true. But you still got him.
I'm wearing it because it's a thermal.
Either way,
Hey, look, the Jedis are there. You see the
Yeah,
Jedis?
yeah,
They're right
yeah.
here.
Remember, don't you guys ever forget the classic unwritten comic book that I'm gonna write, where the kids forgive him and they're like, they all embrace
Come
Anakin like this.
on. They should all bust out their sabers and just do an American V on it.
I hope Santa's not watching it. But yes, so the Grinch for me, for the classic redemption, because there is not a year goes by that I watch that movie, the Boris Karloff, classic, right? Frankenstein himself, right? Double A.
Yeah.
And his heart grows 3 sizes, that I don't shed a fucking tear.
You don't melt.
Don't melt. And yeah, Jim Carrey's good, and yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch is good. They're fine. They're fine Grinches, but nothing will ever beat or replace that. Even the sound of it, the very sound of it, it feels like Christmas Eve. It feels like Christmas night. Like I'm hearing it, I'm watching it, I'm engulfed by the sound of the voice and the rhyming and Cindy Lou Who and all the things. And it's just he's a bad guy, but he redeems himself. You know what I mean? Ultimately, he realizes, that they sing without boxes, they sing without baubles, they sing without, all the things. And I said, man, you know what? I almost strive to alleviate my own grinchiness through the Grinch himself by changing and letting go.
So that's okay. So you said Santa and Grinch.
Santa and the Grinch.
Okay.
That's for me. That's where I'm at so far. We're two and two in. Yeah, 2 and 2 in right there. What do we got here, Double A? What do we got here? Oh,
Amy.
Amy says,
Okay.
"Ooh, I love this first one." Jack Skellington. She says the Grinch. Clark Griswold. I told you she was going to be out here.
Yeah.
And she says Scrooge. That is her Mount Rushmore. Untimable Amy, if you are still with CM Cal, get his list for us and put it up here.
Yeah,
us.
that'd be great.
Please, we'd
Yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah, because I know he kind of ran it down to me earlier, and I loved it. So
Yeah.
so very, very interesting. What else you got for me, Double A? What else here? Because we're at the 2-hour mark. We should give some people, and then
Okay, so
we may be forced to talk about a certain trailer that we were
Yeah, of
holding
course.
out for one guest for, but I don't think we might not get him.
So I've always I had read this in December. This is when I was getting into comics, and it's kind of like a big thing for me.
Mhm.
And this is kind of like when I was starting to kind of go on my own, right? Like I wasn't just loving Spider-Man or Wolverine or the characters that my brothers
I love it.
had, right?
I love it.
Right. So I read Daredevil, right? And they have just this one issue. It's Daredevil 268. It's really nothing special about it, right? It's not valued or anything. It's 268, way
Great
after
cover.
the Frank Miller run.
Yeah.
And he's kind of just like traveling. He's staying at this kind of like B&B or kind of like a, what do you call them? Like we're
A hostel.
hostel.
Mhm.
And there's like a serial killer on the loose. And, he takes up the serial killer, but it's like snowy. It's kind of like around Christmas time.
Yeah.
And I remember reading this in December.
Ah.
And this is kind of
Love
what
that.
opened up for me kind of, oh, there's other characters out here besides the ones that my brother had, which was Hulk, Wolverine, Spider-Man.
Right.
And that was about it. And Superman and Batman.
Yeah.
That was about it.
Yeah.
They didn't really go out a whole lot more.
It's like you only like the best.
And this is when I'm at like around 10, 11, right?
Mhm.
So it's just really me because I think my brother was already starting to spend like a whole lot with you.
Yeah.
And which was great because at this time, I was like, okay, I have the room to myself, so I can kind of be okay to read some of these
Glad I could help. I feel kind of bad about that. But yeah.
Because he wouldn't let me read the comics until I was like old enough, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It didn't matter what issue it was. It could be like a fucking 25-cent issue.
Oh, he famously accused me of reading one in the shitter and leaving knee grooves in it. He's
Yeah,
like,
I heard
you
I heard
left
that
knee
story.
grooves
I
in
heard
it.
that
Well,
story.
where the fuck's that got to rest the comic book?
Yeah.
You know what? Here it is. Yes, I left knee grooves in the
I
book.
heard about that
Well, where
story.
the fuck was I supposed to put it?
And the sweaty knee grooves.
Don't let me read books in the shitter. What the fuck?
So this one issue that I always loved. Like again, there's nothing special about it. There's really nothing. It's not Frank Miller. Nothing.
Great cover though.
Great cover, and
Yeah.
it's actually a really good one-off story. That's it, just one issue story.
Oh, I love that.
And that really just boom. That was like okay, like that's the issue that made me fall in love with Daredevil. Where I was like, man, this motherfucker's badass.
And I gotta say, Double A, and I know this because I had many an argument with your brothers growing up. Daredevil was never even in the conversation.
Oh, I don't even know how they had this one issue.
And what a fantastic fucking character.
It is. I mean, man, I made fans out of my brothers when I started buying the Frank Miller shit.
Yeah.
But this one issue is what opened up the doors for me. So that's I always feel like I have to read this once this month.
I
I have to.
I love that.
I could not. I mean, I could spend a whole 11 months not reading it, but I have to read it in December because this is what started off my love for this character.
Yeah.
And you know what? If this character is this badass, what other stuff am I missing?
Exactly. And again, you've heard me tell this story lots of times, but about my friend Ben, 10th grade art class. I'm in 10th grade, he's in 9th, and he gives me a book called Preacher, and I'm like, I'll never read something like this. Like, what this shit looks like. And then I can remember reading it and literally laughing out loud and not being able to put it down page after page. He gave me the first 2 trades that were out, and I could not wait to get to the next one. And I didn't know other stuff was out there. I was just like, wow.
And then it's kind of like, wow. And you're like, what other shit have I been missing this whole time?
Well, because all of our debates growing up, number one, it was like DC was shit, Marvel was superior.
Yeah.
And then it was like all of our debates were like, whose guy could beat up the other guy? Like, your guy sucks. You know what I mean? Like, Will constantly on Hulk, me and Boy Wolverine guys. And it was just like always going, even with bad guys, we'd be going back and forth. It's like, but again, that was fun because that was of the time or whatever, but we didn't. And that's
but
by
there are
the way,
so many characters that you're like, well, shit, how come we didn't talk about this guy?
Right.
How come you didn't know about this guy?
Mhm.
How come we didn't talk about her? How come,
Mhm.
it was like, what the fuck?
Double A, to me, you're the Thor guy, you're the Ghost Rider guy, you're the Daredevil guy. Like, these are the guys that you were like, I'm on.
I was like,
guys.
this is like a Norse guy. This is a guy who got his power from the devil. This is a guy who's blind, who's fighting like crime. It's like,
Right.
man, that's like some interesting shit right
Yeah,
there.
the
Like,
story is fun. It's a
the
fun,
Silver
good
Surfer,
story.
he sacrificed himself to save his planet, doing this because he thought he can lead Galactus to other lifeless planets, not knowing Galactus was going to completely remake him. He was reborn into right away. He was going to destroy civilizations.
Top tier Stan.
Ugh.
I mean,
Like his
so
name
good.
is up there with Thanos, Galactus, Dark Phoenix as one of the most terrible people in the universe
Absolutely.
because of what he did.
Absolutely.
I mean, how can you not like characters like that? You know,
But when you're numb to just thinking about who's gonna win in a fight, it's like
yeah.
that's no fun. You know what I mean? Like, real quick here. Oh, here we go.
There we go.
CM Cal says again, former alumni and host says Kevin McAllister, Ralphie, the Grinch, and Scrooge. That's a fantastic list. It's a fantastic list. Icons of Christmas right there. Guys, we've got a couple of Mount Rushmores being built so far. Double A's 2 in, I'm
Three.
2 in.
Three.
3 in. Oh, because the villages.
Yeah.
You'd have the little
I
village.
need to see a Christmas Carol version.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta have a Nutcracker or a Village
Mm-hmm.
every year, and I have to read this comic.
I love it. I love it. So if I needed another one, I'm going to go ahead and say, let me put another one out there right now. It would be, I mentioned it earlier, but our real tree. The Christmas tree is like an icon of Christmas, right? Whether you have you have a beautiful tree, not real, but
No,
still
sorry.
beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful tree, double AS. And I just love when people put up a tree. You put up a tree. I saw some skinny trees this year. A couple of Christmas parties, and I said, "Damn,
I
the
think
skinny."
people are liking that more and more.
I like it. It's like sleek. I was like, "Oh, I like the sleek tree." I can remember going to this Christmas party one time when I worked for this law firm, and their Christmas tree was 3 different trees, different heights, and I was like, "Oh, it's like a little forest." I was like, "Damn, I like that," or whatever, classy, But again, my family, like I know your family, we have many ornaments from years past. They must go up. They're classics. I've got He-Man on mine, Skeletor, Mando. I've got, me and Jess. I've got Just Another Friday Night from our first year, 2020 on there. So these ornaments must go on a multicolored tree. I will admit, some years, year after year, it looks the same. I've seen, themed trees that are beautiful, but when I look at our
add another piece,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And when I look at our tree, I say, I love that tree. That tree's like,
Yeah.
it's our tree, the tree of the house.
Yeah.
So I've got Santa, I've got the Grinch, and then I've got a Christmas tree right there with like a big star on top. Currently, I think our star is, we have a multi-shaded star, but one year we had the Mario star, Super Mario,
Yeah, the Mario
Invincible star.
Damn.
So that was cool.
That's
Trying
awesome.
Invincible. So were we 3 pieces in? Okay, 3 pieces in each. And I love that. Yeah. Guys, I don't think our last guest is going to make it. He's been trying. He's been having
That's
some
fine.
difficulties, and I'm sorry about that. But let's talk about this trailer, Double A, because it would
We're
be
gonna save our last ones.
unjust.
At
Yeah,
first?
we'll do our last ones after
Okay.
this, and we'll call it a night here,
Okay.
guys, for you, because we all know that we've got Christmas shopping still probably to do. I hope not, but you might, right?
And
Are
if
you done?
do,
Are you done?
yeah, but no, I'm not done. But I don't have to go tomorrow.
Okay,
So-
good, perfect. That's a win. That's a huge win. Yeah, guys. Normally we do pop culture news at the top of the show. We didn't do it this time because I know our one guest who also hosts a DC podcast. If you guys get a chance, check it out, DC Unlimited. But mainly what he's known for is his Christmas podcast, Tis the Podcast. Go check out their website. They're great. Unfortunately, our good friend Anthony couldn't make it in. I wanted to hear his thoughts on this and weigh in because there's no better
It
people.
probably
than
just got later for him. too.
Yeah, he's in New York, so he's in the hub, essentially
Yeah.
of many things Christmas in the United States anyway. He was having issues connecting, but I know he is hugely enthusiastic about this. He's a huge gun advocate. But guys, we got probably the biggest piece of pop culture news this week
Maybe
or
this
month
year.
or year. The Superman teaser trailer dropped. They dropped a teaser for the teaser.
I didn't see that one.
right? No,
So I didn't even watch that because I was like, no. I'm gonna watch the trailer when it comes out.
Right. And Double A, I'm just going to cut to the chase. What did you think?
Oh, I loved it. I love it because I knew he was going to do a good job when it came to this.
Yeah.
Okay. As much as
Yeah.
we say that, man, you know, he shouldn't be kind of like dismissing some of the other DC projects like the way he does.
Right.
I knew he was going to do all right with this. I mean, Superman is kind of like up his alley. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
Like if you ever saw the Guardians, those were always more humorous than kind of all the other ones, really.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like even his Christmas special Guardians was good.
Which,
you know?
by the way, is a kind of a classic
Yeah.
already. I love
Yeah.
it. I love the songs from
Yeah.
it. It's fun. I want to watch it again because it's nice.
It looks like he's kind of doing what John Berg did because right off the bat you see him landing and he's all bloodied up. So
right.
it's like, okay, you're not
Right.
making him. You're really not making him super powerful like the other versions that made him.
Yeah.
You're already kind of doing okay. You're kind of doing the 86 burn stuff
Yes.
where he kind of depowered him a little bit,
Right.
right? But the outfit looks more brighter.
Yes.
He caused Crypto. So right away, I mean, if people who love pets, I mean, Crypto is in the movie, and obviously he's super powered.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's that. I know someone was, I think it's Jerry, didn't like his hair.
Yeah. Clark's hair.
I think it's actually kind of perfect because you're really trying to make it go all the way of not recognizing him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, so I think it's perfect. And, you know, obviously he's doing the Christopher Reeve Clark Kent. He's not doing the Dean Cain Clark
Right.
Kent. You know what I mean? Where
He's
he's
a little
doing the
bit
bumbly.
More bumbling.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're not getting that smart Clark Kent. We're getting the Christopher Reeve Clark Kent.
Which I think people are endeared to.
Yeah, of
there's
course.
there's a lot of love that will never go away. for
And let me know if I'm
Christopher
saying
Reeve.
this right. Nicholas Holt.
Yes, Nicholas Holt.
Okay.
Or
I love
Holt.
him. I love him in X-Men.
Mhm.
You know, Warm Bodies, where he's a zombie.
Yeah.
You know, Renfield, he played a
Renfield.
funny
Yeah.
Renfield.
Yes.
He's done some other good stuff. And I think he's pretty damn tall. I think he was almost as tall as Hugh Jackman. And Hugh Jackman's like about 6'3".
Mhm.
So I think him and David Cornsway are gonna be all right,
Yeah.
like kind of mesh together because the Jesse Eisenberg, Henry Cavill, I was like, oh man,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
that's really
that's
kind of like
fucking wimpy.
yeah, because like
Just-
Gene Hackman looked good next to Christopher Reeve.
Right.
Kevin Spacey looked pretty good next to Brandon Ruth.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Rosenbaum, Tom Welling, you know, so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But the Jesse Eisenberg one and Henry Cavill was just like, damn, like just grab this dude and just you know,
Right. And he's just also so Weasley. And Lex is supposed to
he's supposed to be super fucking arrogant, confident.
Yeah.
Like he's the man of tomorrow,
Yeah.
not Superman.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so that looked cool. LexCorp looked cool.
Mm-hmm.
The music was cool. He still kept the theme, which
Yeah.
I always say, man, if you have a classic theme, just use it. You know,
Right.
sometimes I wish Batman they would just use the Tim Burton one because
Right.
you know that one right away.
Yep.
You know, I mean, so
Yep.
that's cool. All the characters, you know, the Mr. Terrific, the Guy Gardner Green Lantern. I know they said there were some other people, but I
Hawk
really
Girl.
Okay, Hawk Girl. I didn't see her.
Metamorpho, I guess. was
Okay,
supposed to be the
Metamorpho,
bad guy,
okay.
I guess. But
Well, they also said Ultraman too, which
oh,
I'm kind
okay.
of like,
And see, there's some things we're not gonna know because we also said kind of like that big dragon creature. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? So-
but it's kind of cool. I was like, okay, you're gonna give Superman like a lot in this first movie, so it's
Mhm.
kind of like okay, so hopefully they kind of go to that already. Maybe he's already been on Earth a while.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Is there a runtime out yet?
They
Double A?
said it's a little under 2.5 hours from
See,
what I'm hearing.
so this is interesting to me, right? Hearing that under 2.5 hours, but we've already seen like a lot of characters. Like, so I feel like they're gonna like catch us up quick on Superman, so that we can move right into the next
That's
thing.
kind of like what I liked when Sony did that with Tom Holland. It was kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
good, we're past the origin a little
Right.
bit, but
Right.
not knowing the origin was coming up in No Way Home.
Mhm.
You know, when they killed May,
Yeah,
and then they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, this is like all of this before. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, oh shit.
Double A, talk a little bit more about it. Let me run the direction real quick. I'll be right back. It wouldn't be this show without me running.
Yeah. Pedro says I'll admit it, I teared up.
Oh,
So yeah, I'm pretty damn sure CM did too. I think this is gonna hit. I really do. I think this is really gonna hit more than Man of Steel. I remember the Man of Steel was kind of like the enthusiasm was there, but like all of a sudden, I don't know, it just kind of dropped off. I guess the first wave, kind of like the first talk of it, kind of maybe killed Man of Steel a little bit. I feel like this one's gonna. I feel like it's gonna keep people engaged, and then it's in July, so it should be a good month for a Superman movie to come out. I think people are ready for Superman again. It's been a good while. It's gonna be 12 years since like an official solo Superman movie. I know he came out like Batman versus Superman. It was like Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, Justice League, and then he Mike Adam. But this is gonna be like the first standalone Superman since 2013. So that's pretty. It's gonna be good. I think it's really gonna be a big hit. I think people are gonna like it. I'm reading nothing but good reviews from everyone who's seen it. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of trailer breakdowns that are breaking down like every scene, telling you who's who, what character from DC is this, what character from DC is that. The Cat Grant, the Daily Planet, the Lois Lane, the Jimmy Olsen. You know, I know there's a whole bunch of trailers already that will tell you who's who. Guy Gardner, it's cool. It's finding cool kind of seeing a Green Lantern finally on the big screen again, like an actual one that people know. So that's going to be fun. Now, it seems like they're going to the 70s, 80s Guy Gardner, early 90s, you know, with the chili bowl haircut, the arrogant as hell, kind of cocky persona that he does. So it'll be interesting. I think it'll be fun. I know CM's not a big fan of the Guy Gardner Green Lantern, so but I you know, he's funny in the comics. He really is. So I think that's going to be interesting. Again, I think Nicholas Hoult is going to be good. I think he's going to be a really good Luthor. I think he's really going to give it his all. You know, I think James Gunn's going to do okay doing this movie. I think Superman needed this kind of fresh reboot, this kind of more uplifting reboot. I think that's what they need, CM, more than anything. I think it's just kind of more hopeful. That's everything I keep reading is more a hopeful kind of Superman look. I know Superman was kind of around throughout the 2010s. You know, he was, you know, his standalone movie, Man of Steel, the Batman versus Superman, the Justice League movie, his little cameo in Black Adam. But I don't know, it just, those movies didn't hit. You know what I mean?
Right.
For whatever reason, those movies just didn't hit.
And you kind of got to go back to basics, right, Double A? You kind of got to.
With Superman, yeah, at least. You know, you got Batman being your dark character. You got, you know, Wonder Woman, your warrior. Superman's supposed to be your hope character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, when the poster dropped, Double A.
That's a badass poster, too.
I love that.
That's a great poster.
Again, people put it against the other posters. They were like, you know, look at him. He's looking up, right? Even the Brandon Ruth, he's over
looking down.
He's looking down.
He's looking down.
You know, Cavill looking down. I'm like, man, that's right. Superman wouldn't look down. He would look up. And I don't think that the Reeve one had one. They showed one, but I think that's one that was created later. That's not a real.
The original, You'll Believe a Man Can Fly,
which is fantastic. That
flying. Or it's just a logo.
I think it's the logo.
But it says You'll Believe a Man Can Fly.
But later, a guy did do one where it's Reeve kind of like flying up, which is a great one. But that wasn't like an actual theatrical poster. That's one that was done later on, I think, by like fan made, something like that. Because I know that because we posted that one time on our Instagram, and the guy was like, "Oh, you used my art and didn't credit me," and we were like, "Oh, well, we're sorry, shit, we didn't know."
I'm hoping because I told CM
he's a guy.
Guy's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, especially when Jeff Johns got a hold of him. Like, I told CM, like in the Jeff Johns rebirth run, like they show it where like his ring is like always kind of like dripping.
Yeah.
Because he has so much willpower that it's like it just wants to get out of him. So his ring is like always like leaking like willpower. Like that's how much he has. I
can relate to that because me and Double A had these conversations regarding the ring and the powers, and it's like, man, you know, like that's very interesting. So again, Guy Gardner's always a guy I never liked, but Double A has kind of
he's like that asshole, that prick that everyone hates. But if he's on your corner,
right,
you really like him having it on your corner.
And he's also the guy to probably tell Superman, like, be who you are. Like,
because that's what he does with Hal.
Be this guy.
That's what he does
you know
with
what I
Hal
mean?
a lot of times, and John. He does that to John
Yeah.
too a lot of times. Like, man, you're a fucking drill sergeant, like
Right.
you know, like, and you're taking orders from Batman. Like that's what he tells him in Rebirth. Like, you should be fucking telling. He goes, you should be telling Batman what you fucking do.
I love that.
You know?
I love that. So for me, guys, as a Superman, fan, a Superman mark, a Superman stan, whatever you want to call it,
My wife loved it too.
Yeah,
She loved it.
and a James Gunn kind of detractor. I've been a little bit
He's good at what he does.
right. I've been critical of what has come out thus far. The picture with the putting the boots on, the all the character releases. Like I'm like,
But
dude,
you
what
know,
are
when
doing
he
about
when
it?
he put that down, I like the way he looked.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And I will say this: this trailer made me go out and look up more about Mr. Terrific. What do you know about him, Noah? Do you
I
know a lot
don't
about
know
him?
shit, honestly. And that's mostly because we're not DC readers. Like
Right.
we know, like the main dudes. We kind of know the main dudes. Bad guys, like we know the Justice League, right? Obviously.
Let me tell you something, Double A. This guy, vastly more interesting than Cyborg.
Yeah.
This guy apparently would be able, for what I understand, based on what his power set is, would be able to whip Cyborg in like less than a second.
But
Because
see, DC never
Nope.
really.
this guy,
do that.
Double A, is, and a slight to him, I think, to Mr. Terrific, because from what I heard, I was like, your number 3 is the number 3 smartest in DC, and it goes Batman, Lex, and then him. But when you hear his tech and the things he does,
Well,
he's fucking badass.
that's
dude.
good. That gun is kind of pulling him out there.
Right,
So,
but I'm also like, you cannot really put those other two in front of this guy when he can do all these things. He's been compared to Tony Stark. He's got amazing nanotech. I mean, like there is a lot of apparently he was a child genius, was reading fuck, what was it they said? I forgot what it was. What whatever it was in the 6th grade. Speaks multiple languages, Double A, several different disciplines of martial arts, which is kind of like things they don't ever really say about Batman. It's like, what makes Batman so great at things? Just they don't really say. There is a background to Mr. Terrific for that, and I love that for him. Like I'm like, this is very fucking cool. Like I'm like, this guy's been sleeping. You know what I mean? Like they haven't. But again, leave it on to DC to not kind of like
to not do anything.
not to do
Yeah.
anything with it. Yeah. So
So he's from 1942. The character.
okay. Wow, pretty
Yeah.
old, almost as old as Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there was like a one version, and then the new version took over. or
Well,
whatever.
okay. So maybe the number 2 version is
Mhm.
going to be
Mhm.
this one. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's the number 2 version.
Yeah,
Okay.
but a highly intriguing and interesting version, no doubt. Let's see. Pedro Lopez also says, I can't wait to see more of Isabel Merced as Hawkgirl. Man, I didn't know who that actress was. I saw her afterwards, and I was like, wow, very impressed. So can totally relate to you on that, on Pedro Lopez. But boy, right from the beginning, seeing Superman down first, I was like, oh, what's going on? Why is he down? It cutting away to some of the more, iconic scenes, you know what I mean? Showing him doing things, the Clark stuff, the Lois stuff. I was like, shit, I'm all in. Aside from the hair.
Yeah.
Aside from the hair. But again, it looked kind of was just like a wind-blown hair. So I think that might have just been in one scene, but either way, like Double A said, kind of going for the more aloof Clark.
But again, too, it's kind of like, when Christopher Reeve was go to Clark to Superman, you can kind of tell.
Right.
Obviously, nothing's really, that's just, I mean, Dean Cain too would just, just take all the glasses.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. Yeah. And also too, Double A, like we got to ask ourselves, right? It looks like that Clark and Lois are still working at the Daily Planet. They're still working on newspaper. Let's be honest, guys. This is a medium that's kind of dying. How much longer will we be able to do Superman without it being a period piece? Because newspapers really aren't around anymore. Even in I think Ultimate Spider-Man, they had him working as like a web designer as opposed to a photographer, because it didn't really make sense for him to be that anymore. That would almost be like saying, like, they're still jamming out to a Walkman when you're past that. We're past that already. So
I think it can be very easily done, honestly. Because obviously the news is so important. People still watch the news. You know what I mean? So I mean, I think that medium can still happen now.
Yeah.
You just don't do the newspapers, but I mean, you can do other stuff.
You still need
with it.
reporters,
You still
right?
need
Writers,
Yeah. I mean,
photographers.
they still send reporters out to the war fields. You know what I mean?
Oh
So, I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah. In fact, it's like almost a photographer has become the more important because things are told through pictures now. You know what I mean? So, Jimmy Olsen could very easily.
I mean, the news is happening so fast because people are able to report it now too. You hear news on Twitter fast.
Oh yeah.
Before the news picks it up.
Right.
So it's kind of like, man, well, shit, let me check this out. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of ways that they can still make that work.
I mean, not to go super grim, but I mean, like, let's.
You know what they did with Jonah Jameson in No Way Home?
Yeah,
His
he's like a vlogger, like a video blogger.
They kind of changed it to update that a little bit more.
But yeah, like I said, not to go grim, but I mean,
the Daily Planet is so iconic. I mean,
yeah,
I would hate to see any kind of Superman movie without the Daily Planet.
Again, that is like the Superman family. That's the Superman lore. You got to have Perry White. You got to have Jim Olsen. You got to have Lois. You got to have Ma and Pa Kent. And adding Crypto is a huge.
That is huge.
That's huge because you're also like, how does that work? Whatever. But man, when he gives him the cape. Home. I mean, I was like, I have a little white dog, Kylo, and I was just like, you're Crypto now. You're my Crypto, So, I mean, guys, I think Pedro said it that he was moved to tears. I was moved to tears. That's easy to know. I was very much invested. Joe from Now Watch This, he called me out. I put a post up. I think I made it my background or something like that. He was like, oh, I thought #fire gun. And I said, oh, no, definitely fire gun if he gets this wrong. Now, if he gets it right, I'll be the first one to elevate him and say, okay, he got it right. You know what I mean? But
look, he was the major architect of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I just don't like the way he comes out and kind of says, oh, well, this ain't part of my universe. This ain't part of my universe. Like, man, you have a really important spot in DC. Support the movies. Don't say this ain't part of my universe. So if you see it or not, hey, that's up to you. Like, and also it should be like, hey, you know what?
Like I said,
watch these movies.
I feel like, I know this is gonna sound fucking dated and probably dumb, but I feel like Kevin Feige is Suge Knight, and Gunn is like P Diddy, where Suge Knight's like, hey, if you don't want to, the producer all up in the videos, all up dancing, come to Marvel, whatever. Because I'm like, Gunn feels like, I feel like he has to be in front of every decision he makes. And I'm like, dude, let it happen. Let it happen.
Like Feige usually would let Downey kind of be the mouthpiece.
Right.
Downey was always the one doing interviews and touring the world and spreading the word for Marvel.
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is the way to approach it now. As soon as something goes wrong, get out in front of it. But I feel like Gunn isn't like, he's already told us so much. Like we already know. Like I'm like, damn. And even I said, man, this movie feels like it has a lot of characters for a Superman movie. Excuse me, how is it getting back to basics when you've got like Hot Girl and Mr. Terrific and Green Lantern?
I kind of like it in a way because it's kind of like finally they're not afraid.
Right.
To use their characters. Like, finally, just because
that
it's a Superman movie, it doesn't mean it just has to be Superman.
Okay, I agree.
I mean? So, it's like I said with the cartoons or with the comics. Anytime there was guest appearances, we used to love those episodes.
Yes, but Double A, if me and you were doing a reboot of Superman, that's not what we would have done. We might have brought in villains.
I wouldn't have brought in those certain characters.
Yeah.
For sure.
But maybe Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash.
I mean, why not?
It's like, see, Gunn came after us right now. Look, I'll say this. I could not get some new logo action going, but I've had this actually all day since my work day because I've been thinking about one thing and one thing only.
Damn, the cavalry.
So the cavalry.
You know
what I mean? I'm excited for it. I want Gunn to be successful. I want
Superman to be successful.
I want Superman to be successful.
Because I think they gave up on Man of Steel too soon. That movie grossed, I think, a little under 700. Mm-hmm. I bet you if they would have done a part 2, it would have done $1 billion. but they were so fucking like wanting that movie to be $1 billion movie, and that's what I'm kind of worried about with this one. Is that if it doesn't do $1 billion, they're gonna say it's a failure.
And he said it himself. He's like, we're not going to go forward if it doesn't do well.
And see,
like,
that's the thing. It's kind of like, man, you got to build up the audience again.
Yeah.
Like even the Robert Pattinson Batman didn't hit $1 billion. It was like in the 700 million mark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but we're still going forward with that.
I feel like almost universally, AA, the trailer's been loved. People are like excited again.
I mean, so what? And I was saying when you were in there, so was people with Man of Steel.
Exactly.
There was a lot of excitement around Man of Steel.
I can remember seeing the Batman v Superman trailer and thinking this is going to be the greatest movie I've ever seen. The lines, the cuts, it was so hype. But now you got to deliver. You know what I mean? So our good friend of the show, Mike Beck, Mike said, I'm skeptically optimistic, and I think that's a good way to put it.
I was optimistic with Brandon Roots. I was optimistic with Henry Cavill, and I'm optimistic about this one. I just like the character that much, and I think they all did a good job.
I don't even think I hate those other ones. I like those.
I liked all their interpretation of Superman. I really did.
Yeah.
You know, it's just,
my nephew told me recently he watched on his own, which I was kind of hurt. He watched Superman and Doomsday or Death of Superman, and he was like, "Hey, I want to watch it." Huh?
The animated?
Yeah, the animated. Yeah,
Okay.
and he said he liked it a lot.
Okay.
And he's like, "Hey, I want to watch Reign of Superman with you," because he didn't know there was a sequel.
They just released that trade. I forgot all about that.
His comments alone, AA, forced me to rebuy those issues. Those four covers.
They came out with the trade.
Yeah,
the Reign of Superman story.
But I wanted to show him
cover.
the cutout covers that we all got,
yeah.
and he thought that was really cool. So I showed them each one of them to him. So I mean, again, that's guys. I would, if someone asked me Marvel or DC, I'd probably say Marvel. But when someone asks me who my favorite superhero is of all time, it's Superman. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he's who we strive to be. And I think
put it this way, like
job.
all the magazines I've seen, like in wrestling, we're going to wrestling terms in the 80s. Obviously, the most popular was Hogan.
Yeah.
But if you ever saw who was ranked number one, who was the most respected, it was always Flair, the other guy from the NWA.
Is Flair the Batman in this situation?
No, I'm just saying, like how you're saying, like, most people like Marvel, right? Like,
yes,
more people drink the Marvel Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
but your guy's Superman.
Well,
for a lot of people, the WWF was Kool-Aid,
yeah,
but everyone knew Flair was the main guy. Like, he was the king in the wrestling business.
How many times have we talked about it, AA, where it's like, oh, we love Marvel, but it's like there's kind of like better DC stories. You know what I mean? There's better solo DC stories. And yes, even within DC, a lot of times there's better Batman stories.
See, how many times did we say like the vertical line when we actually read it, like blows out like some of the Marvel, that every time Marvel tries doing a fucking hard line, it doesn't work.
No.
But from Vertical came out Swamp Thing, Animal Man, Fables, Preacher, Sandman. Those are all fucking books that are always like on the must-read list.
So they gotta do a Vertigo documentary. Man, that'd be fucking bad.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
All the runs that were there, like there's a lot of stuff that DC just does better. They've always gotten better stories. Watchmen is under the DC.
I know, man. You
know what I mean?
Watchmen, the icon, one of the icons.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't know what it is about Marvel characters that are more like they're almost more hip. You know what I mean? Like they're more like.
It always seems that way. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, there's something about Marvel that's like slightly cooler or whatever. You know what I mean?
Like even Iron Man just blew everyone's expectations away.
Yeah. I almost feel like DC are like the gods and Marvel's like the demigods, or even like the Titans, where it's like they're just more cool. You know what I mean? But they're still more powerful guys over here.
Pedro says, I like that Gunn is establishing a pre-existing fantastical world in this Superman movie.
Agree.
By the way, I just got the 2 McFarlane Superman figures tonight, regular and platinum.
So what's your sale, Jason? Because Daddy needs some Superman.
Pedro says, I hope some theaters have pet-friendly screenings.
That would be amazing. AA, I was thinking about this, and I want to know what you think about it, because I really hope that me, you, CM Cal, we'll watch this together. I kind of think that I would like my first video to be maybe at IMAX. Palladium?
Oh, Palladium? Okay.
No, not downtown. No,
man,
God, never.
I saw that The Last Jedi there. That was one of the worst experiences I've seen.
AA, I saw
that was terrible. I was like, this is what everyone is talking about.
I saw Goblet of Fire there, and I only went there to see one time because he wanted to see an IMAX movie, we saw Into the Spider-Verse, me and CM Cal, and he had a good time. But the theater, I would never take him there again. It was raggedy.
It was very
downtown.
raggedy. I was like, this is what people pay so much money for?
And I've said this before on this podcast. I'm going to say it again here. IMAX, downtown, River Center Mall, San Antonio, any of you out there from wherever you are in the world listening to this, send them a message because that theater is complete
garbage.
And it needs to be redone. There's water
Like,
leaking
seriously,
through the roof.
I was like,
the seats they suck. They're old school auditorium seats with like wooden, like your armrest
like this.
That's shit. That's shit. You know what I mean?
I was like, wow, I'm paying so much money for this.
Redo that
crap.
theater. Yeah, they redid their other AMC theater, and apparently they own that now. So if it's AMC, whoever owns IMAX now, you need to get to downtown San Antonio. You need to fix your IMAX theater because it fucking sucks balls, and it's a horrible representation.
It really is
in downtown San Antonio.
Because I was like, I'm never seeing an IMAX movie again.
I can only imagine a group of military guys that are from somewhere else that want to go see a movie. They go there, they go see that, and that's their experience.
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
that's a fucking disgrace.
It's terrible.
That's a disgrace. And you can tag IMAXs and you can tag AMC in this. I don't give a shit who you tag. They can come after me because I don't want to see the next incarnation of this guy in a shit thing like that. But Palladium, we could do that.
Palladium, okay.
Because I kind of want to see it like that first main.
How is that Casablanca? Do they have one of those?
They don't. I think the only two
Palladium.
IMAXs are downtown in Palladium.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, Palladium was great. Palladium was great.
I love it. You know what I
went there to see Avatar, the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was that?
Oh, it was amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I
Like I don't like the movie, but it was.
No.
It was like, but seeing that for the first time, like that kind of 3D, I was like, man, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like I was like, wow.
We are not Avatar.
And I tried. I really did. I tried watching that movie like 5 times.
Yeah.
I couldn't get into it.
It's just not.
I just couldn't get into it.
Real quick, Jason, if you're still with us, Jason, can you find them in stores though? I'm just curious. Can you find the McFarlane Reeve in stores? Let me know. Again, to say real quick, I absolutely loved it. Gorgeous trailer, gorgeous poster, gorgeous soundtrack. Obviously borrowing from the John Williams, but tweaking it. I love it. I loved the humming version, and then I loved the guitar version that was almost like Top Gun.
There you go.
Which Gunn even said they borrowed from Top Gun Maverick with the drones to simulate the flying.
Okay.
So maybe we're gonna see. Maybe it's gonna be cameras on drones simulating the flying. You know what I mean? So I love that.
Okay.
So a lot of good potential, but that's got to pay off. So again,
I think it will. Honestly, I think it will.
I said skeptically optimistic. So definitely, yeah. With all that said, AA, we got a Mount Rushmore to wrap up here. Yeah. It's Christmas, sir, and we got to get going because we had Santa on, we had Gary D on, 2 icons of Christmas. You know what? I'm gonna
put Jerry on there.
I'm gonna go out on a limb, AA. No one talks about Christmas podcasts.
Oh shit. Okay.
But for me, you got Santa Claus, the Grinch, a Christmas tree, and Jerry D. Totally rad Christmas. One of the no. It is not one of the. It is the finest Christmas podcast about Christmas in the 80s that there is. Without a doubt.
Jerry D, you made it, buddy.
And his best episodes are Thundercats,
Brave Star,
and Robotech,
Warren the Bucket,
and X-Men issue 243. Damn, what issue was that?
I don't know.
Go check it out, guys. Those are fantastic. AA, you got a spot to fill.
Yeah, so this is my favorite one, and this is the one I have to do the most. So in 2010, me and my wife are about to have our daughter, and we didn't know it yet. So December 15th, we had an appointment for December 16th, right? So it's just me and her at our house in Converse, and we decided to get Domino's and watch National Lampoon's Vacation. And I will not watch that movie anytime in December until December 15th. And me and her will always get pizza, and we will always watch that movie on December 15th because that's what we did the night before our daughter was born. and it's just something that me and her always have to do. And December, I don't give a shit about the tree, presents, or anything. I have to do this one thing. I have to do this one thing, or else my December is not complete. So we have to watch on the 15th. We have to order pizza, and we have to watch National Lampoon's Vacation.
Does it have to be Domino's?
It doesn't have to be Domino's, just pizza and watch Vacation.
That's when you find out you're gonna be a dad.
Well, no, that's weird. Our appointment was for the 16th, right? We're thinking it's just gonna be a normal appointment, but they told us that, okay, you're ready. You need to have your daughter. So,
Oh, she was already pregnant.
yeah, she was. It was already gonna.
But
It was her 8th.
She had to
month.
go into labor.
She had to go.
Yeah, the lady fucked me up. Fuck.
So that is the one thing.
I
Me
did
and her always have to do that. We always have to on the 15th eat pizza
My
and
belly's
watch
out.
eat pizza and watch National Lampoon's Vacation, and then we get ready for our daughter's birthday.
That's outstanding.
I cannot do anything else but that. Like I said, I don't care if I have trees up, lights on, nutcrackers on. I have to do this one thing, and I will make my December complete.
I can't. No one can top that guy. That's a fucking beautiful Christmas story, and every Christmas story I think is essentially about love, and that's what that's about. So,
And real quick,
yeah.
Jason goes, I had to pre-order
Oh,
at GameStop
okay,
in
great.
store.
Yeah.
And then he goes, they told me if I wasn't pre-order, it was going to be hard to find at stores because all the ones stores get are mostly likely filling
I
pre-orders.
got you.
Not sure how Target or Walmart are handling them. Well, I'm pretty sure they're not handling them well at all, Jason. So I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that it's probably the same thing. Probably pre-order and then that's it.
When you land across other ones, Jason,
Forget it.
keep
Yeah,
me in mind.
and then those are going to shoot up.
Yeah,
Those are gonna shoot up real bad.
I'll make some texts after this, but damn, Double A, I don't think I ever knew that, and that really is a
That's one thing we
fantastic
have to
story.
do.
Guys. I can't end on a better note than that, man. I really wish we could have had Anthony on tonight too to hear his thoughts on his Mount Rushmore Christmas. But we know what happens. We wanted Anthony for Agatha. We wanted Anthony for Penguin. We couldn't make it happen.
It's a hard Friday.
Yeah, it's hard. It's Friday.
Honestly.
He's in New York.
It's
Christmas
a few days away
Yeah.
from Christmas.
It's his busy time too with Tis the Podcast. Again, guys, go check it
We're
out.
lucky we had Jerry on.
Yeah,
Yes,
that,
he's super busy.
and he told us too. You know what I loved is that he told me, he goes, I promised my kids this. It will have to be quick. And when I saw him hanging out, I was like, okay, we got to get him quick. We got to quick. And guys, the busiest man of all, Santa Claus himself, Saint Nick. I'm beside myself. That was so much fun for me. And I'm just so glad that my sister got to see it and my nephew and stuff. So, I can't thank you enough, Santa Claus. That was incredible. But most of all, Double A, just doing this here with you, man, year after year now has been fantastic. And I'm looking forward to the biggest and best
I think this is
2025
our
we can have.
5th December. That
Yeah.
we've done
Yeah.
this.
And I think we're going to get one more episode this year. I think.
we should.
Yeah,
We
I think we should.
I mean,
It's 27.
it's between. Yeah, it's like
It's like
way
very
after
close
Christmas.
Yeah.
and New Year's. Everyone's kind of like, whatever.
Right. So I think we're going to be good,
I think we
guys.
should be all right. Yeah.
But everyone that joined us tonight, thank you all so much.
Yeah, thank you guys for your responses, your answers, or just being on.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
listening.
Yeah, absolutely. Random Korean.
Joe, Pedro,
Jason,
Jason,
um,
Vintage Rebellious.
Yes, Ken.
podcast.
Yeah, Ken.
Ken.
Ken was awesome. All of you guys, all of the CW family, all of the Just Another Friday Night family.
Pedro says, good show all. Thanks for sharing these memories. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
Pedro.
Christmas.
Thank you so much, man. It's always a joy when you join us on Fridays and all the Friday nights.
And you had some great stuff, Pedro. Thanks
Yes,
for coming on.
absolutely. And I'm gonna check out Last Christmas too. So no doubt we can talk about that next week. Guys, I don't know anything else, any final thoughts, anything you want to say?
Just everyone be careful this weekend. I know there's still a lot of last minute shoppers, but be careful. This is a time when people are not so jolly. So just watch yourselves, watch where you're backing into, lock your doors because people are kind of desperate this time of year. So lock your doors and, please don't leave stuff in plain sight because people will get it. So
no last minute gift, no last minute trip, no last minute anything is worth your life, your safety, or your family. That's what it's
or
about.
to ruin someone else's
Right.
Christmas.
Nobody wants anything more than to be with you on those days.
It is not worth it.
It's
Trust
not worth
me,
it.
it's not worth it.
So leave
be
it.
cool. Yeah.
Don't let your emotions get the better of you. People will cut you off.
This
cut
is what
you in
this is
lines.
what I told my daughter too. I go, you know what? Whenever I feel like I'm in a rush, I get in my car and I go, hey dumbass, slow down, take a deep breath, and just stop going so fast because you might do something stupid. So
Right. Right. And it's not worth it, guys. It's not worth
not.
it. Your life, your time,
or
your
somebody
family.
else's. Like I said, it's
There's people that love you, people that value you, and they want you there on that day, and let it go.
Yeah.
Just let it go. Let that gift go. Let that toy go.
Mhm.
Let that
it's not worth it to go
whatever it
rushing
is.
in somewhere. So
Right. Just people are going to cut you off. People are going to be rude. Don't be one of them. Don't add to it. Be better because people love you. We love you. Your family loves you, and they want you to be there on those days, guys. So on that note, we want to say, go ahead, Double, get that one. Get that one. Hey, SpongeBob SquareBalls, classy
guys.
Thomas,
Merry
and
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Thomas. Thank you so much.
Big
Keep
Rib
getting better,
says,
but
what's up,
Big
Della?
Rib, what is up, brother? Thank you so much for being here too, guys. We're about to wrap this one up.
Go ahead,
We want to say what we always say, guys. And man, I would have loved nothing more than to end on the great one, Santa himself's words. And I don't know that I can top that. I know that I cannot, but I will say this. Something that we always like to say at the end of every show, guys. We like to remind you guys that if there's something that you want to do, there's something that you want to accomplish, a hope, a dream, go out and do it. There's no time like the present.
Don't let anyone tell you it's stupid, it sucks, it's not going to work. Just do it.
Just do it, guys. Guys, seize the day, right? We get that from one of our favorite movies, Dead Poets Society.
Make your mark.
Robert
Make your
Williams.
mark, whatever it is in life. Make your mark in the world.
Carpe diem, guys. Seize the day, right? Santa obviously did it. You know what I mean? Many of our Christmas heroes did it. From Scrooge to Bob Cratchit to the Grinch. They seized the day, guys. So equally do that. Within reason.
Within reason.
Remember, do that.
Because there's always going to be more Christmases.
Exactly. And the most important thing right now, guys, is your family and sharing that time with them and sharing that love with them. It's not about presents. It's not about
isn't a lot of time
spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's about the stories that Double A told. Hopefully the stories that I told, the stories that we heard from Pedro, the stories we heard from Jason, the movies, the things that you see that give each other love. Santa himself.
Sometimes people just need a simple "I love you."
Yeah,
that's it. A lot of times,
and
just be there
and a hug. And you know what I like? I told Double A earlier, I will never forget spending time with his brother at just our local pub, just drinking cheap beer, just sitting in the glow of a tree, laughing, talking about the same things we talk about on these nights. What hero would beat what hero? A girl, a movie, a book. Just having those talks. Yeah. And just some laughs, and right now he's in Germany and I miss him for that, So, I'd love to do that with you sometime, man. Just go and sit there by the tree.
But you have those memories, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something like that you remember more than a lot of the other stuff. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I've been to so many Christmases and white elephants and gift exchanges, and I don't remember what the fuck came out of that. But I just remember like we had some laughs and that was a lot of fun. You know what I mean? So that is one thing, seize the day, guys. The other thing we'd like to say, we'd like to remind you, the great Captain Steve Rogers, Captain America, before they go back in time in Endgame, he reminds the team that they must do whatever it takes, guys. And we like to tell you all to do whatever it takes, within reason,
but do whatever it takes to make everyone happy. And just really, it's just really being there for people. Honestly, there's a lot. It's a sad time for a lot of people.
It is.
Like CM's, girlfriend is kind of having a little rough time this month, so it could be a rough time for some people, and sometimes all they need maybe is just for you to be there. That's it.
And I don't want to bring the mood down any more than that, Double A, but I do want to say this. Go ahead, read. Let's get those. Yeah. Hey, Feezy's Figures says Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Thank you, Feezy. We appreciate you, brother, out of Cali. Happy holidays, my friend. Part of what I do at work is that I do a small part. Much other more important people do bigger parts. but they help people, you know, get off the streets and get a house. And this week we got to give a lady, it was her family home, but it was sorely dilapidated, but it got totally rehabbed and redone to this beautiful home or whatever. And this is a lady that lived at shelters, lived on the streets, you know, all that. And she's going to have a new home. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times we pass by people on the streets and we say, you know, man, like, you know, why are they out here? Why that? You know what I mean? You know, and I told my coworker, Edgar, you know, who really facilitated this project, I said, you know what? That's one person out of the shelter, but it's one person that you helped, that you made that happen.
Yeah.
So for me to be even a tiny part of that, man, that made my week, and that was really, really, really cool. So, you know what I mean? Like, this lady went from living on the streets to now she's gonna have it was an old family home, but it wasn't livable, but it got refixed to where it's a 3-bedroom home now. Yeah. I mean, so it's incredible. Things can happen, miracles can happen, and one person can make a difference, guys. Santa Claus was here tonight. I don't really know what else to say.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, guys. Happy. Well, we'll see you before the New Year, so we're not going to say Happy New Year yet. Ben Thomas, thank you so much.
Have a good Merry Christmas. Eat up. Be happy. And if you're off, hey, have a really good few days off.
Yeah, take joy in each other.
Yeah,
and love each other, because this is that time of year.
Especially if you have kids, they're going to remember this time. So
even if you gave no gifts, but you sat with a group of people that you love and watched The Grinch or Rudolph or Frosty, you make a memory and you love that. So, all right, I got nothing else.
No, that's it. Have a good Merry Christmas, everyone, and be safe.
Yeah, we'll see you guys before the New Year. Good night.